Good evening, everybody. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late tonight. It's been a busy day around here as usual, but I am running late. I've had a lot of stuff going on tonight and around the house and stuff. So apologies, but I'm here now. It's nice to have so many of you already here, eagerly awaiting the most recent CAF update. 135 down. But yes, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So gosh, where to start? I mean, there's been a lot of work that we've been doing this past week. Yeah, Maureen and I have been working on some new programming. Slow going, but we are getting there. We're definitely getting through some stuff that we've been wanting to work on for quite some time. So we're making headway at finally. It's been something that's been on our list for a very long time. Yes, nice to see you too, Michael Callahan. It is about time. I'm sorry to keep everybody waiting. But I don't know. But so other than that, I got some photos to show off today. I've got a few other things. Marcus sent me some video clip and some photos from his Daniel Warren Johnson experience this past weekend. And I don't have any weekly flips or calf cribs this week, but I have been told by a few people that they're working on calf cribs and weekly flips. So we might be getting in some of those in the very, very, very near future. Outside of that, I think, well, gosh, I got my laundry list of things to go over here. I want to get one thing out of the way. It's nothing special. I don't have, well, it could be something special. You never know. I got a package from Anthony. I didn't buy anything. It's about the size of a comic, but it's not a graded comic. So we might as well just break into this thing early and see what Anthony has shipped me today. Of course, Sharon made that wonderful cake last night. I've got a photo of her actually baking it too, which I'll show you guys in a few minutes. But Sharon outdid herself. I'm sure Marcus was proud, as we all were. Oh, see, just some Army of Darkness stuff from Mr. Snyder. What do we got here? Ashes to Ashes, and it's signed by somebody. I don't think that's Bruce Campbell's signature, but you never know. It's a Dynamite book, though, Nick. Look at that right there. So I don't know. Maybe Nick knows who the signature is on that one. If you know it, Nick, tell us. There, I showed it to you, Marcus. You like that? I can't tell who did the art. Oh, Templesmith. Oh, of course. Well, then that must be Ben Templesmith's signature, I'll bet you. Kind of looks like BTS or something. So, all right. Well, I own a few pieces by Ben, so it's not bad to get a signed book from. And see, Kazra just confirmed it for me, Ben Templesmith. Thank you, Kazra. So, mailed out on Ash Wednesday. No doubt. I did get it, I think, on Friday last week, maybe Saturday, but I've had it for a while. It's been around my desk for too long. So, yeah, you guys are quick with the puns and the zings. I sincerely appreciate that. But speaking of Anthony and Sharon, I guess I'll go ahead and show you. Anthony sent me a lot of pics this week for whatever reason. He was just in a photographic mood. So where was that first one? Here you go. Here's Sharon at work on the Crotch Goblin. I don't know when I think this was actually sent to me on Sunday or Monday. So she had a plan in place very early, and she's even got a reference in front of her and all that. And there you have it. Look at that. This is, I don't know why he took the close up of the crotch, but he did. But thankfully, Sharon did cover that up for the show last night. But yeah, there she is, hard at work, slaving away in the Snyder kitchen. Making a Crotch Goblin. And then speaking of the Crotch Goblin, I actually got a couple other photos from Anthony. And, I hate to do this to you, Fish, but here we go. There is Fish. He's practically poking the Crotch Goblin in the nose right there. He's not quite got the thumb down. He's kind of giving the universal hands up kind of gesture there, but it's good enough. It's good enough. If he would have worn something funny on his head, that might have made him look a little bit more humorous. But Fish, there you are. And then, of course, there was Anthony always has to get a selfie in there. And look, both guys are, giving each other the finger. All right. So there you have it. That was over at the warehouse, I guess, this weekend. And who knows what they were wheeling and dealing over. But I'm sure Fish walked away with some art. But I don't know what. So, well, maybe we'll find out from Fish when he had something to his calf gallery. He was picking the Crotch Goblin's nose, pretty close to it. Fish was the original model, says Michael Callahan. Probably not. Probably not. Although, what did Anthony tell me yesterday? He said that there is a signature on the back of the crotch goblin that he can't quite make out. So maybe one of these days we'll actually find out who painted that monstrosity. Have a crotch and a smile. Thank you, Jeff. There were a couple other photos. Oh, here I took this one. I didn't wait to open it up because I knew what it was, but Mikhail had sent me a letter in the mail, and of course he had to dress it up a little bit, and so he put himself as Galactus on the front of the envelope with a Mr. Rogers stamp, no less. So I appreciated that and had to take a picture of it before I opened it up. But thank you, Mikhail. I do appreciate that. You made my day. I think I got that yesterday. So good stuff. Always dress up your letters and, of course, your art packages as well. I think one of the first packages I got from Mikhail, which is probably like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, where he put me on the Masonite board as Thor from that photograph that we've used over and over again. That from the day I got my Thor costume, I was so proud I took that picture. But I still have the Masonite that Mikhail sent me because it's a work of art. I should have it on the wall. I really, but I've saved it and I'm never going to use it. I'll never reuse it. Mr. Rejek likes the stamp, and I get it. I get it. I go to the post office, a couple times a month, and I have not seen the Mr. Rogers stamp collection before. So I'm kind of curious. I'm going to have to pay a little bit closer attention to that. Next time I go, maybe I'll pick up a set. Mike, yes, exactly, Goo. That may be true. That may be true. If Anthony would just really, maybe if he'd show it to all of you, the back of it, he may. One of you actually may be able to determine who did all of that artwork. Oh boy. So, like I say, I've got just rambling a little bit today. It's been a long one, but what do I got for you? I've got what? Okay, here we go. Actually, I was talking. Joe Fixit texted me earlier today. Steve Yarsh, of course, and he wanted to let me know that they are doing a get together in North Carolina. And they did one last year. I think they probably had to skip a few because of COVID. Maybe he had done a few before that. I don't know for sure. But there will be another meetup at Joe Fixit's place, and it's the Art in the Woods meetup. It will be on April 29th. That's a Saturday. I don't know the time, but if you are open to going, you can contact Joe Fixit through Facebook, or you can email him at joefixit2@incrediblehulk.com. Of course, several people in the photo we recognize, so this is the Carolinas if you're going to get Rob and George there. So I would encourage anybody who's in the area who thinks they might be able to make it to reach out to Joe and see what whether or not you can work it out that weekend. I don't know the times, but again, all meetups are good. We think how it goes. I think we've been encouraging everybody to get together as often as possible, and now that COVID's over, who doesn't want to break open a dozen portfolios on a Saturday and enjoy each other's collections, right? So contact Joe. I know I thought I saw Steve in here. There you go, Steve. Hey, that's right, come on out, people, says Steve. So and yeah, you can find him on CAF too. So however you want to reach out to him, please do. And that's a few months ahead of Heroes, so timing is not too bad if you were traveling through, and you can do that and then do Heroes in June. Where is it at? I don't know exactly the city. I think it's Steve will tell us. There you go. Bear Creek, North Carolina. All right, we got it. So Bear Creek is where it's at. I think I saw that on your Facebook page. That's where you were from, or where you're at right now. But if I recall, you said you were from Berea. I grew up in Brunswick, so I'm born in Medina. So there you have that, Stephen. We probably were. Well, not too far apart many times throughout our youth, depending on how long you stayed in the Berea area. So yeah, I guess he says it's 40 minutes west of Raleigh. He has a secret Hulk room. Well, I think I've seen Steve on a few interviews, I believe. I think I've seen a wall of Hulk statues, among other things. So yeah, that might be cool to take a look at. I remember we got sent several photographs from Steve's get together last year, and I don't remember seeing the Hulk room, but I remember just the room that we just saw there, where everybody was hanging out, and I think some animals too. There was a few pictures outside with a goat or two. So you can, it's like going to a petting zoo and an art meetup all at the same time. The secret bookshelf entrance. Everybody needs one of those. I know a guy in the Orlando area who has one as well. So yeah, I don't have one here, but if I could, I would definitely do it. That would be the ultimate way to kind of separate your man cave from the rest of the house by a secret bookcase. Free goat milk, says Samuel. Oh boy. Well, I can't promise you that, but I can promise you good art. So, and I told him if I could make it, I would certainly be interested in going up that way if I could. I don't, I can never plan that far out, but I did put it on my calendar just to at least have it noted, because it's probably about an 8-hour drive from here. No Chris Norick, no Bill Ashram here. But hey, since that's kind of like talking about a schedule, I could swing over into the schedule right now, because I've got the schedule just kind of keeps burgeoning as the days go by. Where is it? Gosh, did I actually remove it? Here, I'm gonna have to re-upload that slide. But yeah, there's a lot of people wanting time on the channel, and I'm always accommodating as best I can for as many opportunities to talk with other people in the hobby, usually, the auction houses and stuff. But here, I'll pull this slide up for everybody. As most of you know, I've got that Steve Rude art sale this weekend. Then the next Monday, there will be the sketchbook show. That was the homages topic that James will be spearheading, of course. Then I've got Dinesh and Zatari on Tuesday. I've got a Comic Connect preview that will be at 8 o'clock ahead of the CAF update that Thursday. I will be at the George Pratt and James Martin exhibit at the Frazetta Gallery in Boca Grande, Florida on Sunday. Then I'll have that Joe Phillips art sale on Monday, a Hakes preview on Tuesday. Then on the 16th, as part of the CAF update, we're going to do an auctions recap, and that's going to recap both, Comic Link, Comic Connect, and the Heritage International. So we figured we could get all three of those in there. I know that Albert can't make it. He is out of the country, but I know that Nick and Dino will be there, and hopefully we can get Mike on as well. We'll do the same format we did last time, where we all pick 6 or 7 pieces, and we try to keep it to about an hour and 15 minutes. So then after that, I've got a Howard Chaykin art sale. I've got a Fat Jacks fundraiser on Sunday. We did change the schedule on that, moved it back 2 weeks, so it wasn't in conflict with the with Bashar's show in California. And then, of course, there is the Comic Art Con the following weekend after that. So we couldn't do it that weekend either. So we moved Fat Jacks to Sunday the 19th. On Monday the 20th, this was a idea from Jordan. He wanted to have a Three Amigos battle between himself, Mike, and Anthony. So it'll be essentially, each round will have artwork from each of them, and it will be a lower end kind of sale. I think it's going to be like $500 or less, but it'll be fun to have 3 people on at one time going at it. And then I'll have Randy House on the 21st, a Dan Brereton sale on the 25th. And then on the, what is that? I think this is a Monday. I've got a prop store preview. They are doing a benefit auction, and it's going to be to support the Ringling College of Art. I think the majority of the artwork will be animation related, but, and I hate to say it, I don't have the press release in front of me, but it's from at least in the animation circles. I think it was a Hanna-Barbera illustrator whose art they have a lot of, and so it will be auctioned over at PropStar, and I believe that auction is in early April, which was why we kind of were pushing that to the end of March. And then we'll be doing a Heritage preview for their signature auction that begins right at the end of March and goes into the beginning of April. And I'll be doing that on Monday as well at 9 p.m. Then on Tuesday, I've got Sam Maroney. That weekend, I'm going to go to MegaCon, but I can't say whether I'm going to be there Thursday or Friday. I'm not going to be there on the weekend just because I know it'll be too crazy and busy, but I'm planning most likely to be there on Friday. So any of you in Florida who are also going to MegaCon, please consider, let me know, and we can definitely hook up during the show, and I'll confirm as I get closer that but like I said, it's probably going to be Friday. That's always my free day of the week. Then the Tentacles sketchbook show. I can't wait to see who's going to volunteer to be on that one with James, but that should be good. Then then we kind of push things out, and it says 3/6. It should say that's me copying and pasting and screwing things up. That should say 4/3 actually. So it's the 3rd of April on that sketchbook Tentacle show. Then Patrick and Jeannie Wilshire from IX Gallery and IX Arts, my good friends from Pennsylvania, will be on with me. We'll do the recap for Heritage, and I can guarantee you that Albert will be there for that one. He's already confirmed it with me, and I'm sure Nick and Dino and Mike will be on that one with me. Then we've got Mike Oming, Bart Sears, Sideshow Bob will be joining us in May, the first Tuesday in May, and then Simone Bianchi on June 17th. So a busy calendar ahead of me, and there's other things that are kind of getting wedged in there as well that I really can't talk about just yet, but there's more to come. So we'll see how things go. Scott Wingo better be on the sketchbook show panel. He should be. We haven't seen Scott in a long time. And Scott, I do owe you a phone call, probably more than a month ago at this point. But yes, we need to get Mr. Wingo back on the show. We all miss him, that's for sure. Am I ever going to stream? Are you going to ever stream every day? No, Stanley, I will not. That is no. If I could stream less, I'd be streaming less. That is the truth. Just because there's so many things to do around here, but yeah, that's not ever going to happen. But yes, the profiler, I like that. Let me see. I know I had a couple other things related to the schedule that I want to talk about. I'm still working out the details on the show that we're working on. It's, as I said, it continues to confound and be convoluted, but we will be able to pin down a venue. I promise. Well, I can't promise. I have promised myself that I will have a venue picked out by the middle of March. If the venues don't cooperate with me, that may not happen, but I'm trying, everybody. I'm trying. I've got some good help going through this with me as well, and we're doing our best to work through things. I had a couple of venues that said, that weekend's not perfect, so but I still have a few RFPs out there that I haven't heard back from people. I'm going to make some calls tomorrow, so I'm working through it. But we are targeting the first weekend of February 2024, so that would be the 3rd and the 4th. With an event the night before that on Friday. So it would technically be the 2nd through the 4th as far as you wanting to plan on being in Orlando. ThorDicon. I like that, Dino. That's not come up yet. We definitely were debating, not really, it's a Comic Art Fans, Comic Art Live event, but we're definitely considering, just kind of giving it its own name. It'll still be underneath the umbrella of all that we do, but just in terms of coming up with a name that makes a lot of sense, that kind of touches all art forms in a way, but focuses on the illustrated arts is kind of the bent that we're going at. But lots of things spitballed, nothing is stuck yet though. Thank you, Michael Callan. It is very exciting, and to me it's a collector and artist show first, which I think is kind of, people will always kind of look at those things, and they'll always be targeting the dealers and artists first. But I think being able to pull all the create an event that draws the collectors in is first and foremost what we got to do, and then but building a good show that makes them want to come in is part of that. So the Friday night event will actually be a CAF anniversary party as part of it, and a kickoff to the whole event. So it's we're tying in some things from CAF there. CONCAF. Now we're keeping the word con out of it, Murdoch. That's that we knew that kind of going in. I didn't want to call it a con because I feel it's something more than that, but I don't know what yet. We haven't figured it out. CJ says there's 69 people watching and we only have 30 likes so far. How is that possible? Carlos Mo, I'm not even going to highlight that one. That's not going to happen. Although that would have been no, that's not going to happen. And I see Jeff Wedding highlighted that. I actually had this written down on my schedule here. Jay Murray 5150 if you are tuned in tonight, reach out to Jeff through his calf gallery, or you can email me. I can help out too. But remember, Jay Murray got the IBA copy as his prize last week, and Jay Murray did not reach out to Jeff. So we need Jay Murray to reach out to Jeff or myself so that we can award him that copy of IBA 10. So please do that. If you're not here now, if you're watching later, Jay Murray, and I think I'm going to have to just like say that ahead of any show that I have the opportunity to coming up, so that we can get that book shipped out to them. And I forget who won the T-shirt last week, but they didn't get back to me either. I did get the hat mailed out to Kelly, but I did not hear from the person who won the hat. I actually no, I should go look for that. It was the T-shirt, right? T-shirt winner did not get in touch with me. I'll dig that up and I'll make a mention of it maybe in my calf update tomorrow. But how could you not want a T-shirt? You probably weren't here when we drew it. Alberto is trying to convince everybody that he has a secondary account called J Murray 5150. Joe Murray on calf. How did I not figure that out? I did a search. Well, okay, then there you have it. Thank you, Rick Welch. I'm not sure. I tried looking him up on calf, and that just shows you we don't have a very good search function, because I was just tooling through it trying to figure out who it was. All right. Well, next up, why don't I show you this clip? Well, no, you know what? Since we're on the schedule thing, I can show you a couple things. Remember, I mentioned that I've got the Steve Rude show on Saturday. So I did get the art from him the other day, and I haven't put all the slides together yet, but I did make a couple slides to show off a few of the pieces that he'll have. So I got a couple of DC characters here, and we got a Hellboy and a Gravity Girl, and then right up Mr. Snork's alley, you've got the Thing feeling clobbered apparently. I think all of the artwork in Steve's show is going to be priced between, I want to say $400 and $700, somewhere around in there. I've got to double check the spreadsheet that I got from them as well, but some fun stuff. Goo is actually wearing your calf T-shirt right now. Awesome. So so that was Steve's artwork, and I've shown you the other artworks that are out there. Of course, I mean, I've got Dan Brereton stuff. He's still cranking them out. He hasn't sent me any new things since I last showed off the the style of the pieces that he's bringing, but awesome stuff. Of course, I can't wait to see all of it. And I can tell you that we've only got one more show with Third Eye Comics handling the fulfillment, starting with whatever sales show is after Steve Rude's. I'm going to be taking over the responsibilities of having the artwork in hand. So we're already kind of prepped for that. I've got a lot of Masonite cut ready to go, and it's going to be interesting. I mean, Third Eye just couldn't keep up with the kind of, it's not even been a lot of pace. I guess if it was probably more regular, it might have worked out better for them. But they said that they want to revisit it again next year. So I just told Jim McLaughlin, who helps me get the a lot of these sales in on the channel. He asked if I would be willing to take it over, and I said sure. I'll probably have Gwen help me. She'll probably do all the packing. But I know Third Eye was great. I love Third Eye. Oh man. How come every time we have one of these shows, James Siegel starts chatting out there? I'm going to have to mute that Facebook chat. He knows he does this every single time. There we go. I'm muting you for a little while, James. Just a little while. All right, there. Now we've got it. But yeah, no, Third Eye was fantastic. They were quick to get their invoices out after the shows were over. Their packaging was fantastic. And I love Nicole. Was great. I mean, she was awesome to work with, as was the couple of the people at Third Eye that I got to do works with. Does that mean claims in the chat? Caesar, I'd probably still do it via email. I'll probably have Gwen, monitoring the emails for me, just because I still think it's better that we have the contact information when the show's over. Because, I know you guys won't believe this, but there are times when it takes 2 or 3 days for people to, email on these claim shows when we don't have the emails up front. I mean, it's even with Mike, with the Dueling Dealer show, there are times when, we'll get somebody who's who just doesn't get back. I mean, usually, 9 times out of 10, we have their email addresses, so it's easy to find out, find what their contact information is, but it doesn't always happen. So you like the way Nick? Well, I mean, claims in the chat we do claims in the chat all the time, in Dueling Dealers. I don't mind it, I guess, but the thing is, it's always back to getting that contact information promptly. And the issue I feel that's out there is, typically, these are shows with artists that aren't that are bringing in their own new people to the show, right? People who aren't used to what we're doing on Comic Art Live. And, so we can get them to claim in the chat, but then it's back to that. Now I'm going to have to hound them because I don't, and maybe I can't even hound them because I don't know who they are. I don't have their email address. I just have to keep reiterating and reinforcing. You got to email me after the show. So, oh, you mean you like the way they do the web page setup for the claims, but they still do the claims in the chat though, as far as getting the claims, figuring out who's claimed what. Then they send them to the website to do the contact information. I don't think they then they get billed after that, right? But it's funny. I know that they do that, but where the heck do they must have the link in the description? I mean, Nick's here. He could tell me. I've not claimed anything on the show that I didn't deal directly with Nick for, but I know that, I assume they must just send you to a form where you fill out your contact information and you must put in there what you bought, and then they invoice you afterwards. I mean, that works too, but it still requires the person to do what you want, which is get them over to that form, right? So I don't know. I kind of I like the email idea because then I can invoice immediately after the show. That's what it worked really well with Nicole, and I think we're probably going to stick. So let's see. So Alberto says the way they do the claims with Third Eye is too stressful. I hate waiting for the email me to tell me I've been rejected. Oh, they put the link in the chat. I guess I've missed that. I mean, I watch Nick's show almost every week. I don't think I've ever seen them put the link in the chat. I don't know how that's possible, but I believe you, Marcus. I definitely believe you, and they must put the link somewhere. Well, I'll think about it, guys. If you guys like the idea of getting it, I mean, I wouldn't need Gwen to be watching the shows at that point, but I don't know. I can give it a try, right? I mean, which was the first show I've got where I'm in charge of things. Let me look at the thing. What do we got? Well, Joe Phillips. Ugh. See, the Joe Phillips show is just going to be really kind of challenging in and of itself because we're going to actually be auctioning off most of the artwork from Joe. I mean, I'll have some stuff at fixed prices, but we don't know what to put on those cards. So I told Joe we would just start the card. If it's a single card, we would start it at 50, and then if it's an 11x17 that hasn't been cut or separated and it's got 2 cards on it, we'd start it at 100, and then run with it. So you can see it's up. I mean, I guess in that case, it's already going to be in the chat. That's the only way it's going to work. So I guess that one doesn't even count. That's not going to be a normal show for me at all. I'm not. Geez, the more I'm talking about it, I don't know how much fun I'm going to have with that. But we'll work it out. I'm sure everybody will be very patient with us on that show. It's because it's for a very good cause to raise money for Joe. Yeah, that's probably true, Alberto, about but you never know. The thing is, honestly, when you put a link in the description, YouTube condenses the link so it doesn't actually show it. So I don't think you never know. Nobody's going to mine it and send a ton of bot traffic over to it. But we'll work it out. But yeah, I'm glad I thought about, or I look back at that, because Joe Phillips show will be unique in that we are going to auction off 90% of the artwork from that. So, but hopefully quickly. I mean, I don't want to sit there and and drag those out, because we probably have 35 trading cards there. So maybe at the end of the day, I only do I can't do them all. I mean, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes fast. I'd like to think that we'll get to a price point, $150, $200, and it's bidding stops and I can move right on to the next piece. But yeah, that's going to be, now that I'm going to have Gwen as a spotter for that, because she's going to have to take notes, because I'll need to move fast for it. But hopefully Joe's excited to do it. He's he hasn't done too many live stream interviews, and he's a really nice guy, and I know that he's looking forward to hanging out with everybody. I know there's a few of you out there who are big fans of Joe's, and we're posting in some of the Facebook groups that are especially for these trading cards, these overpowered trading card pieces. I guess they're they're well liked. I mean, of course there's Marvel and everything, but most of the stuff is Wildstorm and some Image stuff and some Top Cow. So it's it's an eclectic set of pieces that we'll have for that show. Oh, but let's keep this thing rolling. Why don't I play that bit that Marcus put together? Well, he didn't put it together. He gave me all the materials, and I put it together. Pop Sequentialum says, Mr. Handy will donate all forthcoming signed card revenue to the charity of your choice. Thank you, Mr. Handy. Boy. All right. So let me go ahead and show this bit by Marcus. This was last weekend. I believe it was last weekend over in Berkeley, California. And Daniel Warren Johnson was doing a signing of the Dewar Powerbomb trade paperback, or I guess anything that you brought there, including, well, you'll see what also got signed while it was there. But Marcus showed up with the Crotch Goblin recreation that Sharon did. I think we're going to see a few other CAF members in attendance as well. But here we go. Thank you, Marcus, for this. Let's show it off.
Just look at something else. It's like it goes back so far. I think it's so small.
Oh, you guys got the Powerbomb trade.
Upstairs. I guess there's something over there. Call that number.
Picture with Marcus?
Yeah.
Picture with Dan?
Huh?
Nobody knows me.
Everyone knows you.
No, leave me alone.
Number 45 is up. Number 40.
I'll do it with you.
Felix, would you like to do a message for Cap?
No, I wouldn't.
Get Lambert. I don't even want to do it. I'll do it with you, Marcus.
What? Yeah, but okay, fine.
Yeah.
Hey everyone on CAF, this is Marcus. This is Lambert. We're here at the DWJ signing at Berkeley. The Escapist.
Who are you?
I don't know.
I don't know. I was just standing here. This guy just started talking to me. Go away.
Okay, man. Oh.
Is that his face? Yes, it is his face, James. That is the man, the myth, the legend. That is Marcus. And Marcus said that was yesterday. My goodness, what a midweek signing. That's unheard of, but I would have assumed it was over the weekend. That's awesome. But yes, there you go. Now everybody knows. Well, many of you have probably seen Marcus. Marcus is usually around Albert's booth in San Diego. So you've probably seen Marcus in the past if you've gone to that show a few times. Of course, Lambert was there, and Anim Sketch was there. So there were a few other CAF members who many of you are familiar with because you've seen their CAF galleries before. But nice Perez shirt. Yes, see, I forgot to mention that. That was Marcus picked that up. What was that? One of Nick's shows probably a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, around the first of the year. But yeah, you got to wear that thing out. Absolutely. I mean, everybody recognizes that one. Alberto says he can hunt you down now, Marcus. No, that's not the way it works, Alberto. But okay, it was a Sunday meetup in San Francisco. More excited to see finally. Yep, there you go, Shaggy. Marcus, you got your fans out there, my friend. But yes, exactly. And I should say I did ship out about a dozen of the best of trophies. I ran out of small boxes. So if for those of you who are probably going to get them within a day or two, please remember to take a picture wherever you end up. Place it where you hope to keep it for a while, on the mantle or, beside whatever other trophies you've earned in your lifetime, a bowling trophy, golfing trophy, you name it, put it somewhere take a photo of it and definitely send it to me, Bill at comicbookfans.com, right? And I will show it off here on the CAF update next week. But yeah, I still have about 5 or 6 more to send out. And I finally got a couple extra small boxes that I can get them packed up and shipped out. But yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. But let's see. What are you guys talking about? Lunch. I'm missing out. But anyway, so. But please, I forgot to stick notes in there before I mailed everything out. I was going to put little notes in and reminding people to send me a photograph, and I didn't do that. But I did put in a bunch of stickers, and what else do I have in there? I had some of Jeff Wedding's poker chips. So I tried to pack it with as much fun tchotchke things as possible. I think I put I put a signed card in there, 20th anniversary card in with all of the stickers and other things that I put out there. So please do that for me. Man, what else? I'm trying to think. I know I had a few other things I wanted to go over. I was going to show you, what I go through to feature eBay auctions, but I figured that's just not even, that'll just make you all cry to know what I do on a couple times every day looking at eBay auctions. But I think I'll save that for another time when I'm when I have a little different focus on here. But yes, lots of swag, David Wenzel. So supposed to rain. Oh my goodness, you guys, sorry to hear that. But yeah, it's loot, says Jeff White, and Jeff knows all about that because he's the one who makes half of that loot. I think I put in, you know what, I also put in, Mikhail had given me several of the Thor pins, and so I put those in as well. So I had there's a few other things too. But always just trying to share the swag from the show as often as we can. I got my check out to my uncle for putting all the doing all the printing on those. He definitely outdid himself on these, outside of the ones that got broken when they were shipped. But they look so much better this year. I think maybe next year, if I can plan a little bit better, I'll try to come up with some different design where we're not ripping off Thor. But I think it's good that we had the same statue for these first 2 times that we were putting statues out there and actual trophies for these sorts of things. But I don't know. I try to find something that's a little more art centric, but I showed a bunch of designs to Maureen and Gwen, and they hated them all. So it may not be me that comes up with whatever that design ends up being. So, and it's not going to be something like the Golden Portfolio or anything. I had used the Crotch Goblin as the statue. No, I don't. No, I can't do that. But we could just cast the Crotch Goblin that Sharon made and do something with that. But no, I can't do that. It's got to be something a little more unique than the Crotch Goblin. Oh boy, but I'm telling you, I don't have a whole lot outside of that I wanted to go over this week, just because I've been so focused on these side projects that we've had going on, just trying to work out the issue with the show. And I've had a couple long meetings this week, and no, Marcus, we can't do that. It may very well be the funniest comment. Yes, 91 watching and 50 likes. How is that possible, Nick Verrucci? Everybody should be giving me the thumbs up right now. But yes, it's okay if you don't, though. I'm never. I don't. It doesn't make me any more happy or sad. But it's always, it's a good thing to get them, though, definitely. But I have heard the one thing in my reading about YouTube actually, as far as at least after the shows are concerned, they kind of push streams up or videos further up in their search results when they have a lot of comments on them, and not in the chat, but actually in the comment section. And we don't really get a whole lot of comments. I don't encourage people to comment, because why? I mean, this is a hangout. We're doing it live, so we don't get too many comments after a show. But from what I've read, once the show is over, as far as like getting old shows viewed, it's really kind of the conversation that actually happens, right down at the bottom there. And that kind of makes sense, right? When you stumble into anything on YouTube, I mean, if you actually watch a lot of things other than comic art related conversations on YouTube, you know, when I find something in the feed or randomly off the homepage of YouTube, there's always, you know, hundreds of comments. And so I think that's kind of shows them that people are engaged with it. And for whatever reason, comments hold a higher weight to YouTube after a stream is over. But they probably, you know, thumbs up probably help get it out there while it's live. To court some controversy then, says Chris. Yeah, you know, but I don't do that. I'm not about that. But yes, but the thing is, it is very, you know, if you actually go back and look at the shows that get a lot of views or after the fact, they do end up getting a lot of comments. I mean, if I go back and look at a few things, it's funny, like the Rob Liefeld interview that we did about a year and a half ago, that one, I don't know how many times that interview was viewed, but it's quite a bit. And I think it might be one of the more commented shows that we've done. And it's just kind of how it works. And this is funny. I mean, I know Brian Norton's in the chat. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find this metric, but we can all look at it together, because I meant to show this, right? I got an email from, you know, YouTube likes to send you stat emails every month. And I think at the end of January, they sent a stat email related to like year 2022, viewership and stuff. And so it was funny. The most viewed video in 2022 on the channel was my interview with Brian. I don't know how the heck I can find. Let's see if I can go into analytics and figure it out. We can see Klaus's interview was this is like a 7-day running total or so of the most popular stuff. But let me see if I just switch this thing up here. Last 365 days. So yeah, there you go. Look at this. I have no idea why, Brian. You should be proud of yourself, my friend. Look at that. Now I do put these little shorts out there. So a short, what was it? The Batman has a hot date tonight with Catwoman. You know, it's only a 10-second clip. It got like 7,000 views. And there was one of Mike's memes where he was behind the bar with Thor, and that one got 6,500 views. But Brian, that interview from episode 74. So this would have been early in the year last year. Well, there you go, March 22nd. It's been viewed 3,000 plus times. Why? It's the most. Look, you are more popular than Dave Mandel. Dave Mandel is number 2 to Brian Norton's number 1. Brian is a baller. He is worthy. It might be the sunglasses. Maybe people think he's like Robert De Niro or something. I have no idea. But I remember getting the email from YouTube, and I'm like, that is impossible. It has to be, you know, and not because I don't believe in you, Brian. I just thought, how? What was it? And I have absolutely no idea. Maybe there's something in the show description that just helped it surface to the top of something, or it got sourced. A lot of times, every once in a while, like these ones that got over 6,000 views, we get like featured on the homepage every now and again. So I'll bet money that like this one and probably Dave's got featured on the homepage, and away it goes, right? You just never know. But he is a handsome man. Yes, he is. I think if we go over here, we'll be able to tell. I mean, whatever was it? There's a thing in here that tells you where people came from, but I don't know. Oh yeah, here we go. Reach. I think it's in there. Tells you where most of the traffic, browse features, channel pages. I don't know. End of the day, Brian, you are the man. We should have you on again. We'll see what happens. Maybe a second interview would also make something interesting occur, but require everyone to wear sunglasses, says Marcus. Hey, anyway, I was amused when I saw that, but the rest of them all kind of make sense. I mean, Dave Mandel, a lot of people wanted to see that interview for sure. And the shorts that we put out there every now and again just get stuck in the shorts feed. And then everybody, and I'll tell you, when it gets in the shorts feed, I get a ton of thumbs down. Because people think the memes that we do on Dueling Dealers are so stupid. And I don't blame them. I mean, that's it's okay. Our memes aren't for everybody. But yeah, that's, if I go back over here, it's like, I bet, let's see, this is the Batman has a hot date with Catwoman. How many thumbs down are on this thing? I There's a place that shows you that. Oh, I know where I have to go. It's probably not going to show me here. I have to go over to content and here we go. Just type in Catwoman. Here we go. Oh man, they don't show you the data the way I want. That's not fair. All right, well I can't tell you, but bottom line is the shorts tend to get more thumbs down because like what you can see here, like here's Anthony as the bald kingpin. He's got 6 thumbs up, but two thumbs down. You know, I mean, you can see here's one 7 thumbs up, but 4 thumbs down. So these shorts get passed out to pretty much anybody on YouTube, and yeah, we're not very popular when it comes to people watching the memes after the fact. Yeah. Oh well, it's okay. I don't mind. I don't feel bad. I don't take it personally. Oh, here we go. So that one, the Batman with the hot date, it had 110 thumbs up and 19 thumbs down. So that's not a bad ratio at the end of the day, given it's going out to the YouTube herd. But the next one doesn't look too good. What is that? 100 thumbs up and 21 thumbs down. Well, all right. Well, we can't be too popular, but I'm just happy all of you tend to like what we do. Can I interview Tom Fish? You know, I probably could. He did say he would do an interview with me. That was a while back. I can ask him again about it. I did have to reach out to him to send him a trophy. So, because he had that most commented piece. So sure, I'll ask him. You know, he and I have known each other for quite some time. And if he won't do it, I mean, I can't force him to do it, but I'll ask him again. But let's see. Ram says he hates shorts in general and I hate how often YouTube. I do agree with you, Ram. I mean, I do them just for fun to put them out there because I think that it gives them a second life. But I do hate when I'm searching for stuff on YouTube and it feeds me a short because I'm there looking for actual content. I don't want a 10-second short clip as part of my search results. So there's probably an advanced search to kind of kick those things out, but I'm not using it. Anthony in a warehouse crew thumbs down on a hot date. Yep. Anyway, what else we got there? I think that covers pretty much all of the main stuff for me today. Believe it or not, I mean, I'm not going to keep you late tonight, even though Chris and Ork are going to be on here. We're going to do our regular picks, but without a lot of flips and other fun things to do, it's not going to be a long show tonight. But I will tell you that tomorrow I will post those dramatic readings that I got from Adam the other night. So for those of you who didn't watch the interview with Adam on Tuesday evening, there were 4 mini dramatic readings. I'll put those out on the channel tomorrow. And I agree with you on that one too, Ram. They're trying to be TikTok. Well, that's because they're trying to monetize stuff like TikTok. I'm not focused on it in that way. I just like getting them out there as a different art medium. So hey, I'm going to keep rolling. I'm going to roll right into the Heritage picks. Let's see here. Guys, they're telling you, Mr. Redjack, it's going to be the under tonight. It's not going to be a long night. And that's good. I mean, we don't have to go to all hours all the time. I'm not looking for marathon shows here. That's like I say, I'm trying to do a little less, not a little more. Okay, so I should have picked the Simonson and Milgram piece from last week because it actually did really well. It was the highest priced item that finished in the Heritage Weekly auction last week, but they now have another one, so I'm not going to pass this one up. This was a page from X Factor 38. So you got Archangel in here. I think it's Dazzler and Longshot, and hey. The other page sold for just over $16,000 last week. I mean, this one's it's not as interesting as the other one is, but as far as getting a nice Simonson page, this is, not too bad. I mean, we're not going to be rolling in Thor pages anytime soon, if ever. So this is a very, very good example of a Simonson piece to be had. But yeah. I like that one. And then next up, I picked this one because I remember when we had Klaus on, he mentioned that he kind of agonized over doing working over Steve Ditko pencils. And so this is from an Avengers annual 15 page, and I mean it looks like Ditko and it looks like Klaus, right? But I just because of the conversation about that, I mean, because remember he said forget who was the other artist that he agonized over. Was it I don't even remember who it was. I have to go back and watch it. But I just remember he was nervous inking Ditko. So you get you get the Blob in here, right? And you get some Cap, and you get Captain Marvel. So and Spiral back there too. So Blob, part of the FF, yeah. At any rate, Ditko and Klaus. You're not going to see that too often. Then, I've highlighted a few Rusty Rileys in the past. I actually really like this one a whole lot. This is from 1950, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is from 1950. It's Frank Godwin, but this thing is beautiful. I mean, I absolutely love this piece. And I mean, anybody who is a fan of strip art, I think would, if you don't have any Rusty Riley in your collection, like this would be a great one to have. I mean, I didn't check to see what the size is on it. Kind of curious now, but I mean, every panel on this thing is stunning, absolutely stunning. So, yeah, let me take a look at it. I'm curious now because I want to see how large it is. It's 20, so it's 2 feet by 16. Okay, so not huge, but big enough. A Ditko and Jansen for $380. That's only now. It's who knows where it's at now. I mean, if I didn't refresh it, did I? But no, it's still at $380. Yep. All right. So let's see. Gene Colan next up. This is a Wolverine page, issue 24. I think this is actually all Gene too, pencils and inks on this one. And again, well, everybody knows I love Gene stuff, but Wolverine as well. I just I love the drawings on here. There's actually a couple pieces by Gene in this auction, and I thought about featuring the other ones, but I don't think I've ever featured a Wolverine page before. I think there might be a Daredevil page in this one, and I forget what the other one is. So it is a great Colan, and it was a great Rusty Riley, like Mr. Redcheck said. Yeah, those faces remind you of like Gerber babies and stuff. They're just drawn so, I don't know, so well. So, I mean, I actually think I might put a bid on that one. I probably won't be able to get it, but it just makes me want to have a Rusty Riley from Godwin because it's so nice. Next up, Don Heck. And this one is a JLA page, guys. And it's got Aquaman on it, but I think it's going to do well. You got, Firestorm there, and you got Superman. So just as a overall page, I thought it was nice. I don't pick too many JLA pieces, of course, but I thought Don Heck and Romeo Tangal and the first panel, I like it a lot. And Nick Brucci says that he loves that one too. It's a nice page, and Don Heck isn't like crazy expensive, as we all know, and the DC pages tend to go for a little less than a Marvel page might, but this is a really nice page. So I think it's going to do very well. Aquaman minus gosh. Yes, it's got that quotient going for it. It's got a negative and a positive. But and yes, David, Gene did I think he did a few issues of Wolverine. So and I didn't see Nick being a not a DC guy. So Nick says it's issue 207, Earth 1, 2, and 3 crossover. So there you go. So this page will probably get a fair amount of interest at the end of the day. But it's very nice. Absolutely. Next up, I've got this Web of Spider-Man page. I actually like this one, and I will show you why. So it's Alex Saviuk, Dan Panosian. The way he's kind of handled this top section, without really doing panels, I thought was awesome. But I really like the way he did this last piece, and as it trails off, right? As storytelling goes, I mean, that's just a fun way to handle someone, going into the drink, right? And I do. I think this is awesome. I love Alex's stuff. He's a funny guy. I'm sure you've seen him in interviews before. I know 4C Comics has had him on several times. Really nice guy. Once you get him started, you're not going to get him to stop talking. So maybe one of these days I should get him on the show, because he would be a fun interview. But you probably wouldn't hear from me too often, because he's just got story after story, and he's very gregarious. And I think he's he's somewhere in Florida. I'm not sure where, but I'll have to find out because, well, Ken would know. I'll talk with Ken. But anyways, I like the Spidey page from Web of Spider-Man 96 with Dan Panosian inks. What do we got next here? Oh, this one. Well, everybody knows I love Butch Guice's stuff. And I just thought this was it's an IDW book. I have no idea what the heck it's about. It's called Winter World. It was an issue 1 cover from 2014. I just liked it. I'm a big fan of Geist, but I saw it and I'm like, dang, it's just a nice piece of art. Don't know anything about it. Don't know who this character is. I don't know what's charging him in his sunglasses. What do we got here? It's either, well, it's like a pack of dogs, and I don't know, but either way, I like this piece. I could have picked some other stuff, but I don't know. I just thought this one was for me. Then this one made me laugh because after I read the description, at first I'm thinking it's Doc Ock, and I saw tentacles, and I thought, oh, I can tell everybody there's another piece with tentacles, but apparently it's some kid that made his own Doc Ock tentacles. I mean, I don't know how a kid can be smart enough to make their own Doc Ock tentacles and then raid a toy store, but that's what this kid did. So at least per the description from Heritage. But what really caught my eye was, you've got the blimp up there. I really love the way they did the Zipatone here, to give the blimp the dimension on it. I just thought that was the thing that caught my eye before anything else. I was like, because as a thumbnail, you could see how they had gone from a heavy to a light bit here, and look at that. And I know that's how it's printed, but again, that's like the art of doing this stuff. It's just crazy. So I really liked it, and even across the top here they used it. So this was one I'd be curious to see what the published page ended up looking like. Chris Luth says Winter World is a frozen Mad Max story. So there you go. All right. Well, that makes me curious, Chris. Now I might want to actually read it. I love Mad Max. All right, so let's keep moving. So that's Hannigan Milgram, and I think do I have one more? All that Milgram art that they have is just keeps so much interesting content rolling into the weekly auctions here. Now I know there's a few Ramona Fraden fans out there, and this is from Super Friends, and actually somebody might be mad that I put this out there, but hey, I saw this page and I just love her work. I mean, look at that. The way she draws Wonder Woman, I mean, that's Ramona Fraden through and through. So I really like this one a lot. See, and I wish I was a DC guy. I'd buy this. Okay, I'd buy this. I'd try to buy it. I would bid on it. It's a nice page. I've been looking for something, and I know I once said I'd take a Ramona Fraden Thor. The one the sketch that was up on Catskill, it didn't hit me. I mean, I love her work, but it was like an old style Thor, so it wasn't like Thor. So I didn't want to get it. But one of these days, I'm going to get something by her because I just love her stuff. Wonder Woman bracelet scene. Yeah, exactly. What's the bid? I will let you know. Let's see. Is it really only at $70? Let me refresh it. Yeah, it's still at $70, everybody. And her work doesn't go for a ton. I mean, I bet you this probably doesn't hit 1,000. So, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know how popular Super Friends is. It's not something I've ever priced, but I think this will be a very affordable page. And come on, look at that. You got Robin, you got Batman, you got Wonder Woman. Look at this. This thing is crazy. I love it. I don't know who she is, but anyway, nice looking page. See, let's all buy it. If we could only all own it, maybe we should go in together and we can all buy it. We could create the first bought piece as a Comic Art Live, Comic Art Fans group buy. We could create our own way of mutually owning art and do it here tonight. Well, next Wednesday. Final piece of the night, this Weird War Tales 40 page by Fred Carrillo. I'm not too familiar with his name. I know we've come across and shown some of his work in the past, but I think Peter Rowe probably would love this page because I mean it's a really, really nice. I mean, I'm looking at it now. I love Russ Heath, but and I love Joe Kubert, and I've never owned a piece by either of them, and I love their styles. But this page is just amazing. I mean, the inks are super confident. The layout is fantastic. I just love I love this thing. I mean, and it's a weird war tale. I mean, who knows? I didn't really read that title too often, but so I don't know what the story is about. But it doesn't matter. This is a really, really nice page. So how much is that? I'm gonna look. It's at $1, everybody. It is at oh no, it's at $34. Now I refreshed it. Well, okay, it's 34. So put a bid on that. Kubert horror cover is on Samuel Rojas' Grail list. I don't blame you, Samuel. The Kubert stuff is always on my list, and I've just never gotten anything from him. But horror covers, I mean, they come up from Kubert from time to time. Yes, of course I'd hang a Super Friends. If I got that as a gift, I would hang that up on the back wall because I love Frieden's work. Like I say, one of these days I will get something by her because her work's just fantastic. I love even the character sketches and stuff that she does. I don't even feel like I have to have a published page, but I'd be happy with a one, because I've seen stuff. Wonder FM Woman has a couple. Well, at least one that I remember really nice Ramona Frieden pieces. I think she has two. She just is an amazing talent. The BC Effect, huh, Marcus? Prices go up when I feature them. Yeah, I was. I was talking with somebody about that very same thing, because remember how I was mentioning how I've been dying to get a page by Lee Elias. Anything, give me a romance page from Lee Elias, and every single time, there was a point in time where I was featuring them, and I think I was screwing myself because the person pointed out that before I started talking about Lee Elias and featuring the pages on the Heritage Update pages, some of these pages were going for like $60-$70, and then after that, they were going for like $200. And so, he was like, maybe you shouldn't always be featuring these because, you're, and so it made me realize, well, if I want to get a page, maybe I should stop featuring them, because it's not like it draws a lot of attention to it, but, we're pointing out good art here, right? And I mean, still to this day, I have not owned a Lee Elias. I don't even care what the title is that, that it comes from. I just have to own one. So, but the funny thing, I think like after I came to that realization that I wasn't going to feature another Lee Elias page, they only had a page for like another 2 weeks, and then they stopped. Nick says everybody will pitch in to not do a Heritage preview. Well, that's the problem. Heritage has chipped in to, well, they didn't ask me to do the previews. I just didn't want to. They only wanted to have the name on the intro to the show, and just probably have me mention them once or something like that. But I was the one who elected to do the previews because I felt like if you're going to sponsor the show, you got to have something of value coming out of this. So go figure. But yeah, but there was actually, if you go back and when you do look through it, there were a few other really nice pieces in the Heritage auction, and I was really excited. Remember, I told you that I featured the Art Adams trading card art, that Marvel trading card art. It was the Thor versus Ulick, right? And because I featured it because I wanted it to have an easy link to remind myself to see what it ended up selling for. It sold for $5,500. I was like, woohoo, because mine's a little better than that one. I mean, and I was thinking it was mine was going to be around there, but that made me happy because that was something that I got. When did I pick that up? It was something I got because of Dueling Dealers as part of my my commission, and I'd gotten it for a much better price than $5,500. I can tell you that. So I got it for less than half of that. So it makes me feel good. I was like, see, I've made a few good decisions on picking up art through the whole Dueling Dealers set. I get paid cash from Mike and Anthony too, but I can get art in exchange if I want. So typically I'll go for art if they both have something that I want. James Siegel. Yeah, no, sorry. 5,600 won't do it. Now that I know that that one's 5,500, but no, it's not. I can't sell that one. That's my only Art Adams that I've got. So it's not going anywhere. So my reasons are self-serving. On that pick, I picked it because it was awesome, but I picked it so it'd be easy for me to remind myself that I wanted to see what it was going to end at. And Alex, that's a very good point. There are no bad decisions when it comes to buying original art. Absolutely not. Heritage is no, and Samuel, no, that it doesn't work like that. Unfortunately, Heritage left a briefcase full of money on my doorstep. No, it's not. But I mean, again, it's when I'm going through the Heritage picks, just like when I do the calf picks, I'm trying to find stuff that interests me, and I would think interests you guys too, and gals. Not trying to be sexist here, but yeah, that's all. And if it ends up making a piece of art sell for more than we'd all want, what are you going to do, right? So I guess, Nick, I'm sorry I featured that Justice League page. I didn't realize the significance of it, but I really liked it. So, oh well, sorry. I'll try to remember that next time. JLA 207. Don't do that one next time. But yeah, the other thing, when I'm picking those is obviously I do try to mix it up a little bit artist-wise. Yeah, right. I haven't come up with a price for that yet, Peter. So no one's ever asked me not to feature. Trust me, more people are asking me to feature their stuff than not feature it, as you might imagine. So, it is what it is. I think most consigners out there are, the thing is, there's so much art out there that the auction houses aren't able to adequately, promote everything anymore. And blessing or curse, I mean, I think a lot of the consigners feel that way. And, I've been asked to run press releases for, individual consigners because of that. And again, they're still getting good money, right? But they, because there's so much art out there right now, I think that people are feeling that their good pieces are getting lost a bit in the shuffle, which is, it is kind of true, right? I mean, I'm sure these lesser pieces during the weekly auctions, I mean, if I'm not talking about them, they're not really getting, they get the usual PR, right? I mean, I'm sure everybody who buys at Heritage or at least browses at Heritage has keywords set up with them. I do. I mean, I've got several keywords set up, and so I get a regular weekly email every time either the weekly auction art drops. So on Thursday I get an email from Joe Maddalena because he is assigned to me as my rep at Heritage, and it has the full list of everything that matches my keywords. So I got an interesting story for you. I actually saw I should check to see if it's still out there, and I'm not going to tell anybody what it is, but a piece of art came up on my wish list, and it was on eBay, one of my eBay keywords. And every day I get something from eBay's keyword alert for this keyword, and it's usually not what I want. And I finally got one, and I see this tiny little thumbnail, and I'm like, oh, it can't be anything that I want. And sure enough, it's something I want. And they had a make offer on it. So I tried using, because, I always tell you guys, use the make offer on eBay because they had it on there, right? And it was a low, okay, it wasn't low. It was a sub $1,000 starting bid. And so I offered 80% of that as a buy it now. They turned it down. So and I'd never done another offer before in my life. And so I offered it again. They turned it down. So I raised it. I raised it another. So now I made it so I'm like, I went from say 20% to I'll say like 14%, right? It was getting closer to their first bid amount. They turned that one down too. But the crazy thing that I saw was that when you're making offers, and I'm sure you guys all knew this, it also tells you how many other offers this person's gotten for this thing. And it already said they had 2 other offers. I couldn't believe it. It was not Black Kiss art, though, Marcus, no. But it was, but so it was frustrating. I was like, son of a gun. Here I'm trying to use the logic that I tell all of you guys to use, and I'm striking out. I was trying, hoping I'd get a story out of this, but it does not appear that I will. unfortunately. So I'm actually kind of curious because I had Maureen do the bidding on it because of all the work I do on eBay. I'm always like cookied to them, such that the few times that I bid and win on something at eBay, I always get into trouble because they I can't like bid and win something that they're going to then pay me a commission. It's kind of like breaking the rules. You can't pay yourself a commission for an item that you're buying. That just doesn't work that way. And it's always an accident for me. I'll see something I like and I just don't even think about it, and I'll bid it, or I'll do a buy it now. And then a week later, I'll get an email from eBay telling me I broke the rules and I better not do it again, or they'll kick me out of the program or whatever. So I had Maureen do these bids for me. But yeah, she did 2 bids, 2 make offers, and it did not happen. So I may end up having to make an actual bid on it. But the starting bid is too high. My make offers were actually the appropriate amount. So and I felt the first one was the right amount for what it's worth. The second one, I was adding in $50. So now I'm going over where it should be. No, it wasn't with Anthony's comic book art. If it was, I would have just went straight to the source and made him give it to me. Buy it now is higher, but make offer should be less. Right. Well, this is one of the ones. It's not a buy it now. They have it at auction, and it is still available. Thankfully, they haven't sold it yet, but it's just that starting bid is too high. It's like 10% too high. Okay, it's not even 10%. It's 20% too high. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not cool, but I might have to do it just because. Dang, Bill said make Anthony give. No, I would never do that to Anthony. Anthony's holding out on me right now too. He knows it. He's probably not watching tonight, but he finally has something I want, and he's making me wait. So what are you going to do? It doesn't matter. I'm not telling anybody the artist, but if I get it, I will be happy to show it off. No, that Asgard one was funny though, Fish. Anthony has this wonderful, wonderful Buscema Thor page, and it has. I mean, am I interested in it, Fish? Yeah, it's nice. It's definitely nice, but it has this. I don't know. Anthony sent me a picture of it. I don't know. I can probably. I'll show you on my phone, but it has Thor in this amazing pose. But what he's shouting is just so dang funny here. Let me, where are you? Son of a gun, didn't he? I thought he sent it to me here. No, too many crotch goblins in this text thread. Oh, there it is. This is the one Fish is talking about. But look at this. But look at what he says. For Asgard. I mean, come on. How did Marvel let that one slide through, right? That is just too good. But and the rest of the page is pretty good. It's got the Warriors 3 on it. It's a very, very, very nice page. But just for that one panel, I mean, I want to that should be on a t-shirt. Right? Come on. Oh, I love that. But no, that wasn't the page I wanted, Fish. But I do like it. He showed me it, and I was like, I actually have a Buscema page that Mike is holding for me that I like a little bit better than that one. That's not comic code worthy. I know. How did it slid through the Asgard? You got it. For Odin, for ass. Yes, exactly. Back of a shirt. Oh man. Anyway, so see, we can ramble a bit, but that was a nice page. But no, yeah, like I say, Mike has I can't even remember the page now that Mike's got for me, but I know it's better. I don't recall which issue it was from. I haven't seen it in like a year, but I've got a short stack of art over at Mike's that are like, one day they will be mine sort of things. And who was the artist on that Thor? It was Buscema. So, and he didn't send me a picture of the full page, so I don't know what issue it was from. He had a video clip where he was, which I'm sure people would love to see. Fish has clearly seen it, where he kind of walked through a recent big haul of art that he got, and yeah, he got in some nice stuff. That's why he showed that art the other those last two pieces from last night were from this big haul that he got. So I think the next show everybody should should definitely tune in to see what Anthony brings to that Dueling Dealers episode. All right. So hey, you know what time it is? It's time to show off the EXP preview. And yep, exactly. 101 watching and 67 likes. Come on, everybody. Let's see. We should be rallying that up to 100 since we've got over 100 people watching the show tonight. And you know, I appreciate every single one of you in the audience. Let me go ahead and show Nick's preview here for tomorrow. As everybody knows, Nick's show is Friday nights, 7 to 8 p.m. on the EXP. It's the original art experience. He's always doing something fun, you know, and he always gives me a preview to show off. And Nick's a big supporter of our show, as everybody knows, and he's helping us out with that Kickstarter. Nick, we still got to talk about that. Maybe we can talk tomorrow. I had some questions for you that I wanted to address. Nothing too major, but yeah. So Nick's on tomorrow, 7 to 8 p.m. And I've got his preview here of some of the stuff that he'll have available. And here we go.
Everybody, this Friday, March 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You know, when it always is, on the Original Art Experience. We're going to have original art. We're going to talk original art. We're going to offer original art. Mostly we'll talk because that's what I do. I talk a lot. So, this Friday, 7 p.m., I'm going to not only show you some of the art, but I'm going to make Amy wince because I'm going to do the undramatic reading. So, and she winced already just at the idea. All right, we've got Captain America 41, page 8 and 18, Steve Epting beauty right here. This is awesome. Then we're going to have Spectacular Spider-Man 222 by Sal Buscema, inked by Bill Sienkiewicz. Professor, there's something lurking in the shadows. Let me get this straight. You're a clone, carrying in the arms of a man who spent the last 5 years genetically re-engineering himself, and you don't find that unsettling? Perhaps you need a bit more caffeine in your diet. That is hysterical. I love it. Thunderbolts by Steve Epting. Love it. Flashback. We have commission. I gotta stop. Commission cover art. Fantastic Four by Ken Hazer. We've got Joe Del Beato, Mariano Nicieza with Werewolf by Night. Ken Hazer, Rocket Raccoon, Gwen Stacy. I think this is Jeffrey Gwynn and Mariano Nicieza. And then we have Joe Del Beato, Mariano Nicieza creating Frank Miller's Dark Knight. Then we're going to have Captain Britain. Then we're going to have the Avengers 50. Then we're going to have Ghost Rider 44. And here's a little bit more on dramatic reading. Yoo-hoo! Guess who's looking for dinner? No warnings, just shoot. All right, that's it. You got to see, if you could only see the look on Amy's face. And the creme de la creme, David Finch, Dark Knight's metal cover from issue 4. So, that's this Friday, March 3rd. I can't believe I almost said March 13th. March 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on the Original Art Experience. Hit that thumbs up, and hopefully I didn't give you guys any nightmares with my dramatic reading. Trust me, Marcus will have fun with it on Friday. See you then.
Marcus always has fun on Friday nights and on Thursday nights. And I should say, I think it's Tuesday nights when Ken from 4C Comics, you know, they do a sales show too. They kind of make it fun. They have this, basically you're always going to get a deal, but you should check it out. If you don't follow 4C Comics on Facebook, they have a Facebook group over there, and they also broadcast live to the group, but it's much easier to watch on YouTube, in my opinion. I know there's some weird Facebook groups posting and I don't know what, but follow. If you don't follow 4C Comics or subscribe to their channel, you definitely should. Just go, to YouTube or use the search up top and look them up. But Ken and Jeff Dunn do a fine job of keeping everybody entertained, selling art as well. So I think the more of us out there, the better. That is for sure. And so again, but tune into Nick tomorrow night, 7 to 8 p.m. I'm always there. I'm not always chatting, but I'm always watching and listening and enjoying the conversation, because Nick is great, and Amy's great, and there's always fun banter going on. And like I mentioned earlier, I've got a show with Nick in a few weekends doing another Fat Jacks fundraiser. So I'm looking forward to doing that too. Okay, so I think I can say I've actually checked everything off my list, except now I have Tom Fish on my list to reach out to and talk to him about doing an interview. But maybe the trophy will butter him up enough to get him on the show. But Tom is an interesting guy. You'll see. If I can get him on the show, you'll definitely get it. And like Dave Kopecki just said, 4C Comics brings in a lot of great artists for sketch opportunities and live sketch shows too. That is very, very true. I mean, they've had Sergio Aragones, of course, Bill Morrison. Gosh, I can't even think of all the people they've had of late. But Doug Mankey, yeah, I mean, he's done a very good job of working even with other artists who are repped by other people. He's kind of just been a facilitator, and he's done a really good job. He can take a punch too, as we all know. Trust me, I joked with him about that when he was here at my house a few weekends ago. But all is good with that. And Alberto, thank you. Yeah, you should definitely subscribe to 4C and set notifications. They really do a fun, lighthearted show, and I think I mean, like I say, the more stuff out there. But I really do agree with Dave, and I should have said that as well, that they just they have artists on quite a bit, and they just set up special sketch ops with them. I don't think they'll be working with Romita Jr. again anytime soon, but they had a nice sketch event with him. I think they did a sketch event with Andy Kubert. So there's been they've really kind of reached out and worked in different ways. I mean, I guess like what we've been able to do, but he's done it much better. I mean, more aggressively. But that's what his business model is. He is starting to rep. I'm probably going to be putting together a site for him in the next month or two, and then he just works with other people's artists who when he's allowed. What else we got here? All right. So yes, Murdoch's, you got it. Ken, Jeff, Annika are awesome, and Bacon is always Bacon. It's true. They put on a good show. All right, now we can get to the CAF update without any further ado. And I think it's not record time anymore. I don't know how we ended up talking so long, but now we can get to the CAF update. And this is for the last full week of February, from February 20th through the 26th. It's essentially another mediocre week for art dealers. I don't really know what's going on with them. Remember, they were at 105,000 in the week before. Well, this week only 169,000 for the artists I track, of course. But they don't. I don't know what the deal is. Because it's going to be interesting. You figure, this weekend we have the Bashar show, and then the following weekend we have Comic Art Con, and I don't know if those will affect sales positively or negatively, because it'll set them back travel wise. Maybe they don't record everything, but yeah, $169,000 in sales. That's probably about half where we're used to seeing it. I don't have an explanation for it, but Albert Moyne, number 1, 11 sales, $40,000 total. Romita Man, 20 sales, $38,000 total. We got Anthony next, 53 sales, $31,000. Panel Page, 13 sales, $24,000, and then Felix came in last in those over 10,000 in sales. He had 21 sales for $16,000. So, again, just kind of an average week for everybody. I guess Berkey will probably goose the numbers a bit because of the show we had on Monday. So next week probably will be back to normal, but I guess we'll see. So as far as the top 6 sales from original comic art dealers last week, let's take a look at those. And this is a beauty, of course. This is from Warlock issue 9. It's page 3. Jim Starlin, Steve Leialoha, sold for $20,000 from Albert Moy. Look at that. Those bricks in that last panel. But man, oh man, I would love to have had that page. Then got a Rob Liefeld piece of art here. This is the Captain America 111 cover homage. sold by Glenn at that $10,000 mark. Then we've got something sold by Anthony Snyder. This Todd McFarlane Incredible Hulk 342 page. And this one went for $9,750. Then over to Mr. Moy. This is done by Liam Sharp. It's from Green Lantern. It's the issue 1 cover, sold for $9,000. Then we've got another piece by, we got not another, first piece from Mr. Berkey. This one was the cover to All-Star Batman 2, done by Jock. $8,000 ticket price on there. And then what do we got here? A Stuart Immonen all new Captain America issue 6 cover, sold by Felix for $5,000. And that is a beauty. That one went by too fast. I wanted to look at that a little bit longer. That's really not. I love Stuart's work. And another artist I've never owned anything by. Gosh, I think, can I say it about all the artists in the list? No, I can't say it. I did own something by Leia Loa before, but I've never owned anything by Starlin, Liefeld, McFarlane, Sharp, Jock, or Immonen. So, wow. See, there's so much to collect out there, everybody. You just can't own it all. How could we? I don't know. I just need more funds. But all right. So moving right along, we'll talk about the auction results. Auction results. The 2 weeks prior to this, when it was like 306 and then 307, 100,000 for that. Well, this week 316. So at least the auctions are staying relatively consistent. And ironically, they were close. eBay was 157 of that, and Heritage was 159 of that. So nothing too outlandish, but at least it's it's kind of keeping pace like we would want to see it. I don't know, still don't really understand the dealer issue, but so 316 for auction houses. Let's take a look at the first 3 from eBay. First up, this is a piece by Jeff Easley. This is a Gamma World cover, which is a game. I think it's a TSR game, sold for $18,950. So that was kind of the outlier, giving them some strength. Then these next 2 were won at make offers. So first up is this Bernie Wrightson Baltimore Sun illustration, which I didn't see this one out there, and it's got to be early. It was listed at $5,500. It sold it at make offer for $3,250. And this one you knew was not going to sell for $5,000. I mean, I love Brian Lee O'Malley's Scott Pilgrim stuff a lot, but $5,000 for the illustration just wasn't going to happen. It sold for $1,275. And the 3 from Heritage, here's that Walt Simonson X Factor 38 page, went for $16,200. And see, it's got more characters on it. I got Gene on there and everything too. Then we have a Milton Caniff Terry and the Pirates Daily from 1936, sold for $7,500. And last but not least, the marvelous Bill Morrison. This was a Simpsons Comics and Stories Bartman cover that went for $7,200. But that's a memorable one. That is a memorable one. So congrats to Bill, at least having his art get to that level. I mean, that's a pretty decent price, isn't it? So Murdoch says, I can't get all the art I want with my attitude. I understand. I get it. I'm trying, but it's funny. It's not too often when you kind of read through something like that and you realize that you've really not owned stuff by a lot. And what do I got here on the auction house front? I've never owned a Jeff Easley. I have not owned a Bernie Wrightson, though I do have one in my stack of stuff over at Mike's house, and not a great one either. I found just a very simple drawing by him that probably isn't worth a whole lot, but I liked it. The Brian Lee O'Malley, I've got a couple of those. Never owned I did own a Walt Simonson. I used to have one of those X-Men Teen Titan pages. So, yep, sadly, I can say I did that. Milton Caniff, no. No. And then Bill Morrison. I have not owned anything by Bill either. So it is how it goes. So, but the Bernie Wrightson was very cool as a spot illustration. Again, I don't know how. I mean, it's funny because Bernie Wrightson is one of my keywords on eBay. I've always had it in there, and I didn't see that piece at all. So Nick Ferrucci says, "Yeah, you had an X-Men Teen Titans page." I did. It was a battle page too. It was one of those ones when the aliens were kind of booming through the portal, and both teams together kind of charging at it. And yeah, so I had one of those. So I do miss that one a lot, but I do own. Mikhail. Yes, I do. And Mikhail, I haven't put it. I've been looking at it every day. I haven't put it in a portfolio yet, for shame, but I have to show everybody. I do own a Bill Morrison right there. Just as a reminder, if you haven't seen it before, thanks to Mikhail, I have this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Bill Morrison commission. He put this together for me for the CAF 20th anniversary meetup, and Bill Morrison knocked this baby out of the park. So I do it. Yep. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I'm telling you, this is the only one I got wrong, everybody. The Bill Morrison. First page to Radioactive Man in my hands. So, yes, it's still sitting out. I haven't been able to put it away. What do I got? Yes, I do own a Kirby. I have a Kirby Thor page. So, but that's the only Kirby page that I've ever owned is that one. Oh my, and X-Men Teen Titan page. I mean, when's the last time one's been on the market openly? I mean, I can't think of the last time I've seen one at Heritage or eBay. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever be able to own one now. So, gosh, I'm reading through the chat. But thank you, Dave. It is a great Morrison piece. And Bill was really proud of it too when he, because it was Mikhail had Bill give it to me, and so at first I'm like, I didn't realize it was for me, but I could tell just from what Bill and I talked about, he was really happy with the way that one turned out, and yeah, I was too. So I owe them both. And Hoarder's Hide, I hear you're going to be on an interview sometime soon. Congrats. I'm sure many people will be tuning into that one. Black Viper of Dorn. It seems it easily didn't really sell for that. Had some stuff. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at that. All I can say is that it was recorded on the auction as that amount. But who knows? Let's see. What do they do? Or maybe did they close it or something? It's had one bid. eBay is just a mess, everybody. That's why. Oh yeah, he says, please do not bid. An offer has been accepted. Well, what the heck? eBay is a mess. Something needs to replace it soon. But there you have it. But I'm sure the offer had to be pretty decent. I don't think it would have been 50% or so. Let's see. All right. Well, Mr. Snork's in the green room. I'm not going to keep him waiting any longer. Hey, Chris, how are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I have to tell you, I did download that app, and maybe I kind of screwed myself up. I mean, it was before I got the invite from you on the Untapped, but I didn't create an account. I did it log in as a guest, and it gave me this, like William Cox, 1942, something like that. But and then I got an invite from you, and I tried figuring out how to get us friends on the darn thing, and I couldn't figure it out. But I really look, I got it. I got it. But I'm thinking what I might do is delete the app and then go log back into it, and then create a proper account, and then I'll tell you when to text me the invite, and then hopefully it'll just work.
You. Yeah.
Right. Because I actually tried clicking on that link again, and it didn't seem to work. But the cool thing is, there's actually nearby brew houses and stuff that I didn't know existed.
Right.
I was like, what?
One of the best parts about it, and you can actually see if they're good before you go there.
See, I didn't even go that far. I was just like, it says nearby local badges, and there's places 10 miles away, and I've Googled, brew pubs near me, like everybody does, and I don't think I've seen any of these in the list. It's the Flying Boat Tap Room. I mean, Staying Sunny, Serendipity Brews, Brew Tap House. None of these are in the list on Google. They're secret. They must be speakeasy.
It's a wealth of information for people that love drinking beer. You can bear witness to my alcoholism when you friend me.
Because when I'm assuming, then I would be able to click to where you've been, and I can see what you've drank there.
You can, yes.
Do you don't say how many you had too? Did you? Or do you just say what you're sampling?
It depends on how many I've had.
You lose count after a while.
I might, yeah.
There you go. Hoarder's Hide. Yes, I it came up in my feed. You'll be on Ruben Show. is it this Sunday? Yes, there you go, this Sunday. So congrats. I hope it goes out well for you.
That'll be a good time.
Yeah. Are the drinks verified? Asks yeah, I don't think there's a beer wench going around making sure that you finished your glass. But yeah, I can't wait to try this out though. But I that's what I'm going to do though. I'm going to delete it, register properly, and then I will send you a text. And because that was the other thing, it says find friends on here, but it's like it says you have to use like Twitter. Do they have a Twitter account?
They want you to use your socials, I'm sure, for nefarious reasons.
Right. I mean, I want to just plug in an email address or something,
sure.
and it didn't seem to have that as an option. But okay, well, I'm going to delete that, and then I'll do it tonight. I'll get it, and then I'll text you. Maybe tomorrow you can add me as a friend, and I'll start using it.
All right.
Do you actually put beers in that you have when you're at home though?
I do.
You
I
do.
And I actually just I checked in probably 3 beers about 3 hours ago.
Son of a gun.
I'm active on there. Yeah.
All right. I've got to work this out. Well, you are the only one who. Well, I've been gifted beers before, but you're the only one who ever sent me beer in the mail. So
I send beer in the mail. Yep.
It's good. Maureen had a couple of them.
I have beer sent to me in the mail. It's a thing. You just don't you just don't advertise what's in the box, and
it's all good.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to belong to what the heck was it? There was it had like I think it had like a boar's head as a logo or something, but there was this thing you could beers of the month or something like that, and you'd get I was on like the 2 6-packs a month, and they would give you a 6-pack, so you could really it's not just one where you can just sample it. I like the fact that you could try it, I mean, if you didn't like it, you were screwed, but I like the fact that when I really liked it, I had 5 more.
Yeah.
So,
those places exploded during COVID.
oh really?
Yeah,
when I did mine, it was like 10 years ago, but
that was huge during COVID because people were locked up and they had nothing better to do than drink beer from other places. And yeah.
Well, Fish says barf. I guess he's not a beer fan. That's okay, Fish.
Fish is only a fan of one thing, maybe now 2 things. I feel like Metallica and Cosmic Marvel. That's all he's got going.
Well, hopefully we're gonna get Fish a black Dueling Dealers hat. I forgot to email Frozen Burrito. I'm making a note of that because Frozen Burrito is the one who hooked me up with the last ones, the gray ones, and he said he could make a black one. So if we can make a black Dueling Dealers cap for Fish. I'm not going to forget it now.
If anybody's earned it, it's Fish.
It is absolutely Fish with his performance during the amateur wrestling match a few weeks back. Yeah. There, Frozen Burrito, you're in there. Well, it's my fault. I didn't email you. I should have reached out to you. But let's definitely talk about it because, like I say, I know Anthony still wants to buy a case of them. I'm sure. So. We'll work that out. All right, Chris. Well, let's get this thing going. I'm guessing you felt that you didn't have a dearth of things to pick from this week, or was it just?
I don't know. Like I actually went through twice. I went through the whole thing twice this week because I was like, I cannot get 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, so then I kind of, I think everybody knows I kind of like apply some. Artificial filtering. I try not to pick from the same people too much. I try not to pick the same artists too much or the same subject. I try not to do a lot of Marvel or a lot of DC. I try to get something in there from Europe. I try to do a color piece. I try to do it, I do a lot of things to try and like keep it interesting and, not so consistent week over week. But I couldn't do it this week. I was like, I got to drop some of this, I'm just going to have to make some picks that I might not normally pick. Not that they're not great. They're great. Like I like what I picked, but yeah, Daniel, not enough thing pieces this week. No, that was actually part of the issue. Like there were a couple great thing pieces, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, we're gonna see what we got here. I'm just switching screens to do that, and here we go. So let's see. First, we got a Cam Kennedy piece. And Suffering Sarlacc is the owner of this one, and I won't say I know who they are because they must have recently changed their name to Suffering Sarlacc. But at any rate, let's go take a look at this artwork here.
Is this a Jeff Wedding alt account?
No, it's not. It's actually from. I mean, let me see. I'm kind of curious. What? When if I go over their name? No, okay. So they've been. I thought maybe they might have a lower number than that, underneath 5,000. But they've been a member since 2005, and I know they used to have their real name on here. So now he's suffering Sarlacc. But
Yeah.
I actually really like this piece. I did not see it, so I'm glad that you found it. But there's something unique
I
about
think
it.
Cam Kennedy is just incredible. You know, we probably normally see his stuff from 2000 AD, but he did all this great work for Dark Horse Star Wars back in the day. A lot of it was painted. This isn't painted, which is one of the reasons that I picked this. Because it just lets this crazy ink work shine through. I mean, he's so unique, he's so stylized and so graphic, and you cannot see a Cam Kennedy piece and not instantly know who drew it. So I love artists that are distinctive like this. It does feel like European comics, which I thought was very cool for Star Wars at the time too. And I think it was somewhat daring on the part of Dark Horse to have Cam Kennedy doing this stuff, because it's not, anything that we associated with Star Wars, but Star Wars was so influenced by this stuff. And so I think that was such a clever move on Dark Horse's part.
Yeah, no, I love this page. Yeah, I like Cam's painted work a lot, but this is gorgeous. The ink work is fantastic, and as some people pointed out, yes, Keith V, he is the owner of this one. He just renewed his premium membership. We were emailing about some stuff. He helped me find somebody posting some lewd artwork to CAF. For those of you who saw that, I ended up having to spend literally an hour going through this guy's posts, flagging pieces, because not all of them needed to be flagged. They were all made not work safe, but there were a couple images that out of the 300 that I had to go through, that had to get kicked to the curb, and it was suffering Sarlacc that pointed him out to me. Fortunately, even the moderators didn't see it, which was weird. Usually the moderators get to it first. But at any rate, fantastic piece here by Cam. So thank you for picking that one. Let's see here. Now this is let's see who's cat. I didn't even check to see who's the owner. Oh, Ilko. Nice piece by Bilquist in here.
Yeah, I love this stuff on Detective, because I feel like I normally, right or wrong or indifferent, associate Bilquist with stuff that's more etheric or painterly, or whatever you want to say, stuff that's a little more see-through. But that effect is used to great effect here on this page as well. But there's some nice stark blacks. So I just like the level of contrast that was in this piece. I think it's really, obviously it's appropriate for the subject matter, right? But it's just a different a different angle for Bilquist than I was used to seeing. So this hit me the right way.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw it, I thought it was because of the inking style. I was like, "Is that Sean Gordon Murphy?" And then I'm like, "No, it's not Sean." And then, but I like it. It has a mix of like heavy blacks with not. I mean, I was just checking to see if they actually had a printed piece here, so I'm kind of curious how, like this third panel, how does that translate when they colored it? Because it's got so like 50% grays in there with the blacks. It almost doesn't look quite right, so I'm trying to figure it out. But never been to comicartcollection.com. See, some collectors still have their own websites, everybody. I think that's nice to know that. I'm curious, does everybody want to go there for a second? I want to know what Comic Art Collection, right? Comic Art Collection. Nope. If I can just type tonight. comicartcollection.com. Watch it redirect to their CAF. Hey, they must not have a proper certificate on their site. Oh man, well, we're not going to go to that site then.
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we almost got to Ilko's website. That's I think I've been on his site before. Huh. Oh well, I'll let him know that his site needs a better security certificate set to it. Okay, moving right along. I mean, you had to pick this one.
Right.
Is Chuck in here?
I hope he is, because I hope his head is exploding. Although I have a feeling, Chuck is he's on good terms with Nick, and I think Chuck has probably handled this piece in the past and seen it up close and personal. But this, I think for a lot of people, this is honestly a piece of comic book history right here. I mean, this could be in the if and when there's a Frank Quitely museum, this belongs there.
Mm-hmm. no, I mean, Flex Mentallo was just unbelievable when I read it. I mean, I think it was one of the first things by Quitely that I'd seen, and yeah, it
Same.
was absolutely amazing. And you know, I know Nick Patera loves you know, Frank's work, and this piece just, I mean, it's a piece of history, like you say. I mean, if there were ever, you know, an exhibit of his work, this piece would have to be there. And it's funny because when you look at it, I mean, it occupies what, a third of the page. It's not much, but it's such a memorable image, and I think, you know, it was used for a few things. So just really cool. I mean, and you know, I'm glad that it's in Nick's hands, because I mean, you know, it's just when artists really love other artists' work. I mean, you know, that's pretty special, I think. So
Yeah, honestly, you know, Nick's affection for Quitely's work, it makes you root for him on some level, because like when you see him score something like this, you're like, oh wow, like he got this. That's, you know, good for him. And a lot of times that's not the reaction when somebody gets a piece that we think is great. For like, damn it, you know.
Yep. No, I know. I would love to get a Flex Mentallo page. I don't even care, you know, content, just to have one, you know, just because of the for me being that I'd want it because it's the first thing I saw from him. You know, it doesn't matter which issue it's from, but yeah, gosh. So anyways, I'm gonna drool over this for a while. Chuck's not here, so he's not drooling in the chat, but he's probably seen this though, right?
I'm sure. Like I said, I think he's probably actually even seen it in person, if I had to guess.
Oh, and Sam Rojas mentions that Cam's page prices for are pretty friendly on the site.
Sam.
Yeah. What's the, well, I want the link now. So
Got the Bill Cox effect hat now.
Yeah. I would love to see Quitely draw Thor. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, he would probably draw a really badass Thor, actually. So yeah,
You
Samuel,
can
send me
pastiche of it, and he kind of drew he drew a Thor in the Authority.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to check out Cam's website after the show. All right, next up. Speaking of Sean Gordon Murphy.
Yeah, I just love to see studies. I love to see behind the scenes work. You know, there are quite a few of us on CAF that like this really is in our wheelhouse. And to see this from Sean Gordon Murphy, especially like I love the old Bruce Wayne, you know, as a character, as a subject here. I think this is so cool. This is, you know, honestly, in my opinion, this is a little more detailed than you typically see from Sean, unless it's you know, something big. I think the inks are more reserved than we're used to seeing. It's got a little bit of hand color on it. I love the notations. I just think I even love the tape. I think the black tape is so cool. I mean, I really like everything about this, and to see, you know, some of the thought process that goes into something that we wind up appreciating the end result of so much is very cool to me.
Yeah, this is cool. I mean, we've seen a lot of his prelims out there. I mean, you know, I think because this stuff is fairly expensive to get the published work. So sometimes, you know, pieces like this or a page prelim are all you can get. I mean, but this is a nice one. I mean, they're typically, like you just said, are a lot looser. But I guess maybe as a character study piece, he wanted to feel a bit more confident in how he was going to handle
dial it
likeness. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know, because he maybe it was taped to the wall or something, right? This is my reference point. Sean's cool. I haven't had him on in a while. I think we'll be having him on again soon.
Cool.
There's I think a big announcement coming. But
I also thought this was so cool because he is, you know, you mentioned the prelims, and I mean, there's exhaustive research that goes into, you know, and planning that goes into what he produces for something that looks so loose. I mean, it is like incredibly well designed and well thought out, and you know, he puts there's a lot of brain power into what he does, and so seeing something from him that's like this, I think, just makes that extra cool.
Right. Well, when I had that interview with him, well, the first one, I think he showed us like some models that he's made to use as reference, and yeah, I mean, I think that's a very, very cool approach to stuff. A lot like Mouse Guard, right? David Peterson puts a lot of effort into model making when he's trying to come up with how something looks and how it might be lighted. So yeah, very neat. So moving right along though, we got a nice Darwin Cook Parker page here.
You know, this series of books, I should say, has a lot of fans. This isn't necessarily like my favorite one of the lot by any means, but to see one of these pop up on CAF, you kind of have to pick it. They're pretty few and far between these days. You know, he's been gone quite a while now, and you know, Albert had a lot of these for a while, and you know, no longer. So to see one of these come up was very cool just to see it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would love to get one. This is a great one. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, I mean, Darwin's somebody whose work I've always admired, but I've never owned a piece of his stuff either. Just it's, you know, and I knew I could have got stuff from Albert back in the day, but yeah. But
yeah,
you know,
I passed on a Jonah Hex page back in the day, and I kicked myself often.
His con sketches were always great too.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, congrats. Who was the owner on this one? Oh, Joe A, of course. Congrats to Joe on this one. It's a good one. All right. So Brett Bean, a 3-year member of CAF. Not familiar with that name, but we have a Guy Davis marquee piece. And this one, I didn't see this one, man, but this is
Isn't it great?
Stunning.
Yeah, it's like a movie poster or a book cover, but it's not a cover. You know, I think it's actually an end page, but the architecture is gorgeous. The line work is beautiful. The composition is, I mean, insane. How well this page is designed. It's almost odd in a way that it's 4 panels. Like, why is it not just a splash? But I like that.
I agree. It would have a very different impact if it wasn't put into 4 panels, and I think we'd still love it just as much. But there's something interesting about what's happening, you know, in this by breaking it up like that. So, I mean, you just certainly your brain just interacts with the imagery just so differently. So I love it. I mean, I love Guy Davis's stuff. So, but this one was spectacular.
Yep.
Let's see. Jeez, I have to see. Chris wants to get a marquee page, but let's get the like on here. So congrats to Brett Bean. I'm gonna have to. So Brett's from Portugal. Okay, and they have his brettbean.com. So we'll check that out.
Oh, this is the if anybody gets a chance, read the description, because it sounds like this page had a harrowing journey to its owner.
Well, why don't we read it? I know that you've teased them. What an adventure!
Yeah, well, sorry.
Got off eBay from England. Brexit made it difficult to send to Portugal. At customs, it was denied, sent back to England. Eventually arrives at a dead man's house at his garden shed. 2 weeks later, his elderly neighbors pick it up. 8 months later, a friend visits his dad's house, picks it up, gets stopped at the airport, told to pay for carrying it on, finally arrives to me in Portugal 1 year later from the original buy date. Very happy now that I have a page from this beautiful book. Wow. Now that is a strange trip for something. I mean, he's just fortunate that even made it to him.
And especially intact. I mean, obviously intact. So yeah, wow. However it was packed was ironclad too.
Man, that is insane. That is wow. Well, he deserves several high fives from the collecting community to have made that one back. All right, let's see. Let me get the like on here, and then this is Mr. Matt Moore.
Yeah,
I got a Scott McDaniel, Nightwing VPS.
Matt Moore, big McDaniel fan, big Nightwing fan. I think we all know. I picked this because this kind of flies in the face of something that I feel like I would normally pick. I feel like I like images that are pared down and more about design and graphic nature than illustration most times. This is visual chaos. Like, this is like he's illustrating, like, it looks like an earthquake.
Yeah.
And this looks every bit of like an earthquake. There's literally cars flying through. There's a semi flying through the air. There are figures interspersed in here. Obviously Nightwing is, front and center here, but just to throw together this volume of stuff and to have it like, it is cluttered for sure, but it's, you know, it's cluttered by design. And yeah, Kazra, that's kind of my point, is that like, this is all orchestrated, right? This is all like assembled and, you know, put together so that it reads, and it reads fairly well.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because I looked at it and I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but it's a really well planned out page. That's for certain. Yeah, no, I mean, well, I've always liked McDaniel's work. He's a pretty smart illustrator, I think. And Carl Story Inks, always solid.
Definitely hasn't heard.
So yeah. So no, this is a really nice pickup, Matt. Congratulations. I mean, I really like it. What do we got here? We only got one comment on it by Marcus. Come on, everybody. We can do better than that. We can do better than that. Here, let me, you know what? I know I didn't put this in the show description yet, so why don't I throw this into the chat for those of you who want to follow along with some of the stuff or go back and look. That link goes to the show description on CAF, and it has links to everything that we are reviewing tonight, whether it's these picks or the market data stuff we showed earlier. So get over there. Matt needs another comment at least. All right, Shannon Weathers. We know Shannon. We had him on the show not too long ago. And how do you pronounce the last name on this one?
I've always said Miro.
Miro? Okay,
Yeah.
well, that makes sense. Okay.
I can't say enough about this. It's like a disturbing postage stamp. You know, I mean, like the size of, or not the size, the shape of it, you know, the configuration of the image is like postage stamp. I love how graphic it is. It's got that European vibe. You know, it feels like it could be Grundle, you know, in a Tintin comic. It's clean. The colors are flat. But they're vibrant. Yeah, I was blown away by this, and it's so simple, but it's so well executed.
Now, what was this used for? Is it a commission, maybe?
It's a commission, yeah.
Sweet. Now, let me see here. I'm curious how many other pieces are on here by Bernie. Well, not a ton, but there are more examples. But yeah, no, I like this one a lot as well. I wasn't familiar with it, but I forget the name of that artist that was at the Philip LeBaum gallery from last week that we looked at. Remember they had
are very similar.
Sideshow Bob had some of their artwork in there.
Bouchon.
Yeah, that's right, Bouchon. But kind of a similar palette, but also I don't know. There's something about it. When I saw this, I thought of that. But yeah, I think it's fantastic. And it's now that you say postage stamp, it should be on a stamp.
Even the colors, for some reason, make me think postage stamp. And you know, yeah, Lutz makes a great comment. There is something like it's evil, but it's so clean and innocent seeming that, you know, the snow and the trees and the color palette. But yeah, I mean, you know, obviously, you know, Brian Lee Sung has a bow and arrow here, so something bad is about to happen.
Yeah, a Grendel Christmas card, says Jeff Wedding. Oh man, well no, this is a good one. Congrats to Shannon for picking this one up. Super Pet Rescue is the name of his gallery on CAF. Let me get over to here. We got a couple more here to look at. First up, Cliff Chang and David Peters CAF gallery.
So this was one that I wasn't originally going to feature. I took notice of it right away. I'm a big Cliff Chang fan, but I knew that the chat would really lean into the Hitler imagery, so I was going to hold off.
But then you went for it.
I didn't. Here it is. Yeah. So this is like earlier Cliff Chang for sure. You know, this is from Dr. 13, which was earlier on in his career. But I think this is great. It's got all the Cliff Chang hallmarks. It's, you know, his style is very evident on this page. So yeah, it's just a really well executed page from a great book by a great artist.
I agree. I've always loved Cliff stuff. His early stuff was fun. I mean, it was very distinctive when I first saw it. I mean, I've always really appreciated his stuff. And yeah, but I was wondering about that. I was like, why did Chris pick this one? It was what I don't think that too often, but on this one I did. I was like, all right, I don't know what he's gonna say, other than the fact that it's Cliff and we both really like Cliff stuff. It's like, what is it? What is his
I'm
thing
just
that made him go
I'm a
for this?
sucker for this line quality. I mean, he's such a his style like has elements from other people from the past, certainly, and
Uh-oh. Chris Snork's internet cable just got bumped.
Oh, did I freeze?
You did, but
Oh,
you came back. You came back though. I was worried. I remember your internet was having some difficulties.
It's been really bad this week. Yeah, it's been like citywide too. Anyway, I was saying like I'm a sucker for this line quality. I like Cliff obviously has influences that come out. There's some even early Imminent in here. There's a little bit of Toth. There's some some stuff like that. So yeah, he's just and he's an artist's artist. I mean, there's nothing not to like about this guy.
Agreed. Well, congrats to DJ for getting this one. It is a very nice one. A member since 2006 too. 17 years. Holy mackerel. That is a long time. And no comments on this piece, everybody. Let's get busy tonight. One more to go. And you can't go wrong with Mike Perkins ever. His stuff, I love this page, man.
It's so good. And this was one too where I was like, should I pick this? We feature Perkins a lot, but he's so great. I mean, it's hard not to pick something like this just based on the quality of it alone.
Mm-hmm.
These are like fully painted images in ink. I mean, there's everything that anyone would need to color this. And it's all there before you ever hit it with a dot of color. And I think that's just incredible, not only from the skill, but also the dedication. Like, he doesn't need to do this. Perkins doesn't need to go to this level, but he does. And we're all the better for seeing it.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, he could leave out a lot of the tonal work here, and just let the colorist do all that work. Yeah, and a lot of artists would, right? I mean, a lot of artists would probably leave out a lot, even some of the heavy blacks. They would just kind of, it's just assumed.
Access or
yeah, no, but it's gorgeous. I love this the moment I saw it. I thought it was really, really beautiful. So,
and that's to say nothing of like how incredibly well rendered this all is. I mean, how well conceived it all is. It's very technical. I mean, his stuff, it has a real air of realism to it. I just have all the respect in the world for this guy.
I do too. Am I allowed to have robot skulls? Probably. Yeah, you never know. I'll talk with Maureen. It's a maybe. Just let the AI do it. I've actually been. Did I tell you guys how I followed up with the AI? I'm working it with. No, I'm pretty sure I told you guys about it. We're about trying to get artwork opted out of the AI lists and stuff, and I think we're kind of making some progress to make it a little bit easier for artists and major site owners to get their artwork removed from the indexes. Finally, I mean, but not from my work. I'm just kind of just giving advice when they ask me, but it's been this one group of mostly artists that we're also programmers. We're putting in a lot of effort to get that kind of taken care of, and it's actually kind of getting to the point where it's going to be very easy for artists to get their work kicked out of Stable Diffusion and all that other stuff.
Oh, good. Yeah.
No,
that's important. That's important work.
Yeah, it was awful, and the whole concept of that was ugly. And but everybody does stuff for the better. It's going to make things great. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right.
But no. Anyway, so no, we don't talk about AI here, Kyle.
Yeah, art's not supposed to be easy, right?
Exactly. Well, the thing is, the people who were using it felt like their prompts weren't they were hard to do, right? But no.
Yeah.
So, yep, I know. It is what it is, though. So let's do my 10 picks here. I just have to get my screen presented. Where are you? There it is. What did Black Viper of Dorn say? What about a Pinterest? If Pinterest has a piece from our galleries, well, that was the actual biggest problem. Black Viper of Dorn was that we found out, because I told them that I wanted to have all of infectedbyart.com's art removed from it, and so we were working on ways to block by domain name or the CDN URLs that we use, or wildcards off the domains and everything, just because how could you go through and they don't even give you a real way to search by domain where they got the artwork. Well, but the thing that we found is that they were actually going to sites like Pinterest and other image sharing places because that was easier to scam images from. So where I probably have 50,000 images on Infected by Art, I mean, it's probably more than that, but there were only 1,500 images from that domain name in there. But why? Because Pinterest, has the referring URL for the image over there. So Pinterest was the site that was crawled, not infectedbyart.com. And the same thing with CAF. CAF has over 1 million pieces of art on it. It only had like 6,000 pieces referenced on the domain names. So once again, it was all the Stable Diffusion crawlers or whatever, devices they were using to crawl images, just took the easy targets: Facebook, Pinterest, Imgur, or whatever, all these places that are just image sharing sites. And then sadly, they actually targeted artist domains. That's the other thing that they found was like many big name artists had 100% of their images in the database under their domain name. So it was clearly with a purpose that the things that they were doing. So anyway, but over to my 10 picks for the night. So Mr. Fish gets some love for me on this one. This is why not, right? I mean, it's Zach Beatty.
It's the best.
I mean, I have never owned a piece of art by Zach, but I have always enjoyed his cap stuff. And so here you get a cover too with lots of zip on it, and lots of different zip. You got different, you got that texture there. You've got the texture on the guy's shirt. It's just amazing.
It's Zach Beatty too. I mean, that's ideal. It's absolutely ideal. This is a great cover. It's got the menacing monster. I actually said to Fish already offline, but the expression on Cap's face is so good. It's so Zach. Even if there's other hallmarks here for sure, but that face is just pure Zach. I love this cover.
There you go. Only Cosmic. And that's true.
He's probably just gonna strike me as soon as he sees me at Heroes this year. Just be like, "Hey, Pop."
Yep. Yeah. Zach's his work on Cap is just. I mean, that Punisher. I mean, well, pretty much almost anything he worked on. But those two books and characters were always awesome. I'd love, and I'll probably only ever end up picking up and I've never done it, but a Zach Cap sketch. But those are just amazing too. Or Punisher. I mean, he's just amazing, and it's unfortunate that he's not working any longer, really, in comics. But man, the work that he did.
Yeah, what an impact for and really had a tremendously long career in comics, but did other things, which I think is even a lot more common now than it was back then. But he earned his retirement.
That's very true. And like Chris said, Beatty does not get mentioned enough as one of the great inkers. That's very true.
I think that's an interesting comment, Lutz, because I think it's almost like he looks so good on Zach that I almost feel like when he has inked other people, it's not quite there. At least for me, speaking personally, it's not quite there for Beatty, and I think that's part of it.
I don't have, I'd have to go back and look and see other things that Beatty's worked on. I mean, I know he's was in it for a long time, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Zach Beatty, I mean, they were a wonderful team. And you're quite welcome. Everybody loved this piece, Fish. It was an easy choice.
Yeah.
Oh man, Marcus reminds us all of Beatty's work on Kelly Jones. Yep. And Chris said the same. Oh,
it's true. He is.
Yeah. No,
I'm not a Kelly Jones fan. I am a Mike Zeck fan.
Yes, exactly. But congrats, Fish. It's out of your comfort zone, but wonderful in your collection. And I bet there's got to be a few comments on this one. And it's got 2 signatures by Zach on there too, right? So what do we got? 42 comments. Holy moly.
Holy.
Well, deservedly so.
He's quietly amassing a Mike Zek collection though. I don't know what his end game is, but
yeah, you know what would be now? I've got another best of idea. I'll have to float that by Maureen. The number of comments added to your artwork that you added in the calendar year. Who got the most comments added to their artwork in a calendar year? I wonder if Maureen could do that. She can do anything. I like that idea. I'd be very curious to see what those numbers would be like. Because it could just, as I bet the people that added 2,000 pieces of art, they might not have gotten 2,000 comments, right? I mean, it's just because that's how it goes. Can a person who adds one amazing piece a month get more comments than somebody who adds 100, great to average pages a month? I'm curious.
Well, you've got people like Fish, obviously you've got Dino, and I mean they don't post every day, they don't post every week, but when they post, it's rarely a disappointment, right? And I think it gets a lot of hubbub. It should.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to talk to Mo about that tomorrow, because that would be wouldn't give out a trophy for 2022, but it'd be curious if she did that, and we can actually see what the data would look like. Cool. All right, next up, what do we got here? See, look, I picked a thing, Art. You can't go wrong with this one, right? Starlin Milgram. Thigh gap.
I'm becoming a Starlin Thing fan from CAF, from this show, to be honest. I wouldn't have ever considered myself a Starlin fan, but come on, that third panel.
Yep.
Jeez.
I know.
Gorgeous.
Starlin, I know I saw this one and I didn't pick it just because of you, but it's so nice. I mean, I like Milgram's inks on this one. You get a Hulk will smash, you get a what a dummy out of the thing. I mean, this just everything. The dialogue is just fantastic. I just loved everything about this page. And even this one, I thought this one was so funny. The perspective. I mean, how they like put it straight on between them like that. I thought it's just there's just a lot of interesting elements to this page.
Lot to love. Yeah, it's a great page.
And let's see, Comic Art Boston he's got a fair number of comments on this one. What do we got? 34. Wow, there we go. 2 solidly commented pieces out there. And look, I know this gives everybody anxiety when I don't click on these. I'll do it later and get those back to 0. I'm sorry. I just don't have time. I don't know. I wish I had the time. So here we go. This is in, let's see, Charles Dayan's collection from Canada. So you got a Mark Brooks Black Cat. Who doesn't love Mark Brooks, right? I mean, he can do no wrong. I just loved the, I don't know, the way he handles color is just amazing. I mean, look at the way this tapestry is, just gorgeous stuff. And the thing is, I've actually never seen his color work in person, and I know several of you out there have definitely have pieces by Mark in your CAF galleries, but I got to see some of his stuff in person. I showed off. The only thing I have is that print of Rogue, right? And I bought it because it was amazing in color. I just love his stuff, and I like the way he treated the hair here. It kind of blends into what he's done with the border and the webbing and stuff. I mean, it's just amazing, and it's got a cat,
as it should. Couple cats,
exactly. So, and this was Charles Dayan. I don't know if I've been in. I mean, they've been on the site for a long time. I've probably been in their CAF a few times. Now this one was a terrible scan. We need a bigger scan here, David.
Yeah,
I want a big scan. Now maybe this is why you didn't pick this one, but I thought this was awesome, right? Wolverine Origins cover. I mean, I loved it when I've seen it on the stands, right? It's just such a striking image, and Deodato Jr.'s work is always impressive, and I love the lighting on this one. I just want to see. I would have liked to have seen it bigger. So if David's out there, give us a bigger scan, please.
Yeah, I love the lighting. I love the contrast is awesome. It's got a, that noir vibe to it, but we don't often associate that with Wolverine. I think my favorite thing about this, I don't, full disclosure, I don't love the way the figures are kind of like crammed into the background. They're a little like forced into that small space.
Yeah.
But I do love the way the three claws segment the cover. I think that's awesome.
Correct. And with the lighting, with the bars, the lighting on the lower left and the upper left, I mean, it's just a very interesting approach. I mean, you're right. He has kind of crammed a lot in here, but I still love it. And I wish it was a bigger scan. Murdoch says we should do a tech show on recommendations for scanners. It's not a bad idea. I definitely should do something.
CAFU.
Yeah, I'll add that to my list. Jeff Wedding and I were talking about some CAFU stuff the other day, and scanning is a question we get a lot, and we really should do it because it is important. We talk about it here all the time. People actually, scanning their stuff properly versus photographing it and putting it on the CAF. So scanning artwork should be a topic. It's not a long one. You could do it in 30 minutes and just kind of cover 3 or 4 different scanners that everybody should be able to buy. And because they're not that expensive, really.
They're really not. No,
for less than $300 or around $300. And
yeah, mine was about $300.
It'll replace your printer. They're networkable. I mean, yeah, there's some good options out there. And hey, I should point out, new advertiser on CAF. I don't think their site is
the Green Room.
Yes, they are. Are they live yet? Let's see. No, there still says coming soon. I think that, when are they launching? I think they might have said maybe on Sunday or Monday, but they wanted me to start the ads on the 1st of the month. So it's a new rep out of Spain, if I'm not mistaken, and they have, because they had me set up 6 artists or 7 artists over on the site for them as well. But yep, the Green Room.
Yeah.
And it's thegreenroomcomicart.com. Go ahead, click over to their site, sign up for their mailing list so you can get updates from them. So there'll be a new rep that at the very least I'll be doing advertising for them and probably running some PR for them as well.
I can speak from personal experience here because I've gotten an Alvaro Martinez Bueno commission through. Her name is ECR. Or
ECR, yeah.
Might be ECR. I'm not 100% sure on the pronunciation, but I know the Spanish love to use S noises as noises. So anyway, she is tremendous, awesome communication. Everything was really quick, well packaged. There was a weird issue with customs that they sorted out for me. So yeah, best possible recommendation.
Cool. Yeah, no, they've been very nice to talk to. They've been emailing me for the last 2 months, kind of getting to this point where they knew they were going to launch. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, what their site ends up looking like and what artwork they've got. But yeah, you'll be hearing more from them in the future, because I've suggested maybe having, like doing a Saturday afternoon show just as a get to know them type of thing, not selling art or anything, but just to introduce, the principles to the business, sort of like we did with some of the stuff with Jiggy early on, just kind of getting to know the owners and whatnot. So,
and some really big names there, right? Pepe Larraz, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, yeah, David Lafuente, Javi Fernandez, that's like most of the really big guys from Spain right now. So
correct. I mean, I'm sure we'll see them coming over to some US shows as well. But I'll let everybody know. So Daryl, what do we got? I picked this one early, and I'll tell you, I love the illustration on this, of the Punisher, but the thing is, the background just like killed me. Just looking at it, I'm like, did he cheat? Was he like grabbing stuff that, and somehow pulling this together? So some of the copy obviously was printed and cut over, but most of this stuff, it's just, I loved it. I loved it the more I look at it, that took a lot of effort to put this thing together, right?
And he drew the cork board.
Yes, he drew the cork board. I know, I'm looking at it now again, and I'm like, damn, I just love this thing. Because it's, as a small thumbnail, it was super impressive. And then looking at the actual detail, all the thumbtacks on here, he's got himself wanted, John Hebert. Is that right, Hebert?
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
Or Hebert. Could be either way, I guess.
Yeah.
Somebody will let us know. But anyways, yeah, I just thought this thing was awesome. I mean, and then look at the stock on this gun.
Mhm.
He's got the whole wood grain going on there. You know, I mean, Frank's never looked so bad.
Yeah, this is like the prototypical Punisher cover.
Yeah. I love this thing. I mean, I'm not a big Punisher reader, but I would love to own this one because it's the details are just phenomenal on it. Man, I'm loving it twice as much as I did before I picked it.
That's a good sign.
It is a good sign. That doesn't happen often, but I mean, it is. It's so I couldn't not pick this art. And I said,
would you click on the color? I didn't click on the printed version.
It's small, but yeah, it's still okay.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, I love this thing. Dang. And I wonder if Elman Brown, the inker, I've never heard that name before, was happy or sad when they got this one. Maybe it was their idea to do these little paste.
Yeah, you know, for all we know, I mean, we don't know, and maybe this is the only time they ever inked professionally. You're like, this job is for the birds.
I'm never doing one of these again.
Yep.
Oh boy, but very cool. And Daryl, wonderful piece added to your calf. So okay, over to here. I had a Hellboy and Help. I mean, I feel like I haven't picked a Mignola Hellboy in a while, and we only get him in one panel. But I mean, this one panel alone is wonderful. But you know, you get a skeleton and a snake and a great cityscape.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go with it. I just I really enjoyed the piece, and I've never owned a Hellboy page ever. I mean, I've owned some stuff by Mignola, and I still do, but never a Hellboy piece. Yeah, exactly. And like this is a great image of him here, light in the smoke, and yeah. So hey, this was a very good one. Key Z period from Belgium, member for well, hey, 11 years this month. So congrats on your anniversary, Keezy. So yeah, I'm actually going to check their Kafka. I don't remember the name, or maybe they've changed it. So Samuel Rojas says that their first purchase from Albert was a Hellboy and Hell page. Nice. Yeah, Albert used to always have some nice Mignola Hellboy stuff, didn't he?
Yeah. Yep. He has he might still have. He had a great I think it was a commission for somebody at some point, Thor versus Loki. And it was color, and it had like a Kirby feel to it. And obviously Mignola is a Kirby fan, as we all are, but it had that Kirby feel, but it was so distinctly Mignola. And I saw it at Chicago for many years in a row, and it always haunted me. And I'm not a Thor or Loki fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I am a huge Mignola fan, and that piece was so cool that I almost thought, like, I guess I could add Thor to the mix.
Well, I'll forgive you this time, Chris. I'm not a Thing fan, but not kidding.
Yeah.
That's funny. I remember. Well, Albert, he always had some good stuff, and I passed up a few times on some. There was a Hellboy page once that I really liked. It was on his site seemingly forever. There was a Thor commission that was on, and it was like Thor versus the Executioner. Or something.
Yep, I
know. You remember that one? That was a really nice one, and that was up for a while. And by the time I finally said, "Oh, I'm going to buy it," and then he was like, "Oh, I just sold it yesterday."
Yeah,
hey, got it.
Can you see the Mignola FF in the corner over there? That color piece, kinda. Yeah, right there, the Fantastic Four. He had segment of that, just the thing that Mignola kept, because according to Albert, it was the only part of the piece that he liked, that Mignola liked. So he kept that piece, and then Albert got it somewhere along the line, and I almost got it. I actually talked him down on the price, believe it or not, and somebody bought it.
Oh, wow!
For full price,
of course. That, as happens on Dueling Dealers, we've seen that, right? Yep. Trying, and then boom. Yeah, I had on that Mike Make Offer show. I'm gonna have to think about how we structure these Make Offer shows in the future. I mean, it's tough when Mike counters and somebody's not there, right? And then everybody else sees the page and they love it and they end up buying it.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I guess it's kind of the way we've structured it, but it does, puts some people off if they don't end up getting the, I had somebody be like, all right, I'm ready to buy it. I saw, I like this offer. And I had to be like, well, about 10 minutes after that, somebody convinced them to sell it. So, and then I didn't hear back from them. And I was like, oh man. I don't know what to do about that, but, sorry, I went off a little bit there, but still great page. Hellboy in Hell. I love it. What do we got here? A couple more pieces. This one, Brandon Peterson commission.
Oh, wow.
Look at this baby. And I mean, we just recently saw a Rogue in this similar pose, right? But this one's a little different.
This
Brandon,
is incredible.
I know. When I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, how do I not feature something that is as nicely done as this?
Look at how rich that is.
This is why Brandon Peterson does a lot of the coloring for Frank Cho's prints and some other stuff. I mean, he's phenomenal. I mean, he's a wonderful illustrator, obviously, but his ability to color is just unbelievable. I mean, I love the touch of red on the on the Tyrannosaurus Rex versus the black on her. I mean, just fun little details in this whole thing. But when I saw it, I was like, holy mackerels.
I am floored by this. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, Chuck. It looks digital, but it's not digital.
Yeah. Peterson's amazing. Now, I forget who is the owner of this one. Oh, Samuel Ambient. Yes. Fantastic. Wow. This is, I'm sure we got a few comments on this one, right? 11 comments. And it was favored a few times, and it's got plenty of likes, but as it should. Well done. Doc Martin dies. I have absolutely no idea. What is he noting here? What color? I won't read through it all, but
there's for sure like the rocks and the dinosaur, that's definitely got Copics in it. It's not all markers though.
It can't be. But
the way that he uses the contour line ink on Rogue to have her stand out from the background, it is so effective. I mean, I'm like blathering about this thing, but this is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I should dig out. I've got about back in the day, I don't know why, but I would always buy whatever Frank was selling. Well, we were friends, so if he had a new print, I always picked it up. So I've got like a Deja Thoris. I can't even remember what I've got. A Shanna one, I think, too, but they were all colored by Peterson, and they're all amazing. I mean, Peterson's he's just an amazing talent, and he should be headlining a lot of books because I think he's amazing, and he's such a nice guy too. Very witty, but very.
How big is A3?
I don't know
with that. Is that like 11 by 14?
I'm typing it in. 11. Well, it's also 11 by 17 actually.
Okay.
11 and a half by 16 and a half.
Okay.
Well, congrats to Samuel for this one because it is awesome.
That's I think the coolest thing we've looked at tonight.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Next up, a Jack Kirby Neil Adams piece. So this is in Mr. Eric Larson's CAF gallery. Thank you, Jason D'Ambrosia, for getting Mr. Larson to post something to CAF. I know
get off the bench.
He hadn't uploaded a piece in like 5 years, but he was active on CAF. I mean, I know he's always kind of. I've seen him log in and everything. So, look at that. Don't be chicken. Read all about Doomsday, but I picked it more because it was I love it's Kirby and Adams, right? But because Eric posted, I was like, I got to highlight this one. Not that he's ever going to know that I highlighted it, but I thought it was a good reminder that he's out there. Because I was going to shoot him an email just to see if I could get him on a talk show. Just not a sales show. Just get him on. Let's talk about his career. I think he'd be a very interesting guy to chat with.
Oh, certainly.
So yeah, I was planning this weekend on shooting him an email. But again, it's a nice example of the two geniuses working together.
Well, and I always liked. I mean, they're not all home runs, but the Kirby kind of mixed media pieces I thought were always cool. This being a good example.
See, Mikhail's going, but he says help Chris out and volunteer to do the picks. We will actually have Kevin Sharp doing picks in 2 weeks because Chris is going to be away in Germany drinking beer. So and working too, not just
mostly working, some beer.
Hey, Kaiser, you would probably love to do it, right, Kaiser? There's a few people I want to get on here. Jeff Wedding has volunteered to do another one. I bet we've got a lot of people we can turn to. So because I know Chuck had offered to come back too. So I know Mr. Fish, not Fish Benz, the artist, Mr. Fish has asked to come back on too. But we're approaching con season, so I think we might have to wait till the fall. Kaiser says he'd come on anytime. All right, Kaiser. Well, maybe I'll have you as a next guest one. But at any rate, it was nice to have Mr. Larson back in and represented. I know that I saw his comment on Facebook. He said, if I could just drag and drop 1,000 pieces from my computer to put it onto CAF, I'd do it. But it's agonizing doing it one at a time.
I'll tell you what, I'll come over. I'll take care of it.
I know, because you just imagine the work, what his collection looks like, and seeing his work too, because I know he has a lot too.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I'm going to reach out to him this weekend and just see if I can't schedule him for a chat sometime. All right. And Chuck says, okay, I got 2 right there. Kaiser, Chuck, and Jeff is off. Jeff offered this week, I think, because he had heard that you were going to be away, but
Awesome.
he didn't know. Yeah. 2 more pieces to go here. First one is a Harriman Crazy Cat piece. Not enough of this on CAF. I picked it because it's always good to remember the our roots, right? And see a piece like this. They're just so rare, and I love Harriman. I've got a couple of his books that just gorgeous stuff. And again, not enough of it on CAF. And this one, not every one of these you get the brick to the head, but you got one here at the end. Yeah, I mean, what more do you need to say about it? It's just great to have pieces like these in existence. And wow. And I didn't even bother to see whose CAF gallery. Oh, it's in Hans's. That's right. I did see it was in Hans's. Hans, from Tri-State Comic Art, has a phenomenal collection. He's a super nice guy. If you ever see him, I'm sure he's going to be set up at Comic Art Con in New Jersey in 2 weekends. So, tell him you saw his Crazy Cat on the CAF update. I bet you that would make him smile. He
has incredible and varied taste.
He does.
Really, it runs the gamut. He loves this, and he loves Travis Charest.
And you know what? I don't think I've ever asked Hans if he'd like to do an interview. Maybe he won't, but I'm going to make a note of that. I would love to chat with him because he's one of the few people who I've known for a long time, and I've actually never really sat down and talked to him before. I mean, I've always
Albert in the chat that night.
Yeah, yep, exactly. But Hans is he's a very nice guy. But yeah, it's funny. I see him. I always see him at San Diego. I see him at New York, but I've never really sat in his booth and BS'd for too long, other than just to say hi and ask him if there's anything I can do for him, because he's advertised on CAF since I took ads. So. Make him bring Mary too. I will ask. I mean, they're always. I mean, I've probably talked to her as much as I've talked to Hans. So, all right, I've got him on the list. I'm going to email him, and I'm going to email Larson this week. I've got a few other people, but those 2 will be at the top of my list. So, congrats to Hans. I mean, a guy who has so much, to go after something like this obviously meant a lot to him. Maybe he's owned him before, but it's just amazing. So. Congrats, Hans. And then my last pick was a Mobius piece, Jean Girard. Again, not enough pieces by him on CAF. There never will be enough. I mean, you could triple the number of pieces on CAF, and it still won't be enough. I mean, is this the best example ever of a piece by him? Not necessarily, but it's still a wonderful piece by Mobius. Yeah, exactly. I mean, when looking at it, I was like, I would own this. I would love to own this piece. I don't know anything about it. What was it from? This was from The Goddess, page 25. Haven't read it, and I haven't read enough of his work either. But and most of it is translated. Everybody you can get it in English, but it's just cool to have pieces like this on CAF. I mean, That's all. I mean, it was just like the last piece. I was like, I'm picking it no matter what it is because it's Mobius.
He's to use the word influential is such an understatement. I mean, I feel like there are very few artists in any, in any illustrative media that wouldn't credit Mobius with some kind of an impact on what they do.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's just crazy stuff. I love it. But and then who was this? Well, Marcus was the number one commenter in it. Let's see, Rafa Amat. Oh, he's got an amazing calf gallery. Just about ready to celebrate his 15th anniversary on calf.
Awesome.
And he's got 7 comments, so that's good. We got some comments. Is there a cooler artist name than Mobius? I don't know, Rick. I can't think of any cooler than that off the top of my head.
Not really.
But yeah, no, I love his stuff. Oh, the colored version. Nope, color doesn't do it. The black and white. All right, I feel better again. Anyway, so that's a good piece to finish on tonight, right?
Great one.
If Marcus said if there was an artist named Morbius, it might be like
it's Morbin time.
Yes, exactly. Well, Chris, one more week until you get on vacation, work vacation. But like I mentioned to you, I am going to delete that app. I will register. I'll add it back, register properly. I'll shoot you a text so you know that I'm on there, and then you do the invite because I'll probably screw it up. Frazetta. Okay, Frazetta is a good name. Absolutely, Mike ABG.
And real. Mobius is made up.
That's very, very true. I mean, Jean Girard is kind of a cool name, but I mean that could be he could be a space pilot or something. But yeah, Frazetta.
Like a thief.
Yes, exactly.
A French thief.
Not everybody could get born with the last name of Frazetta, though. That's that is okay. Mike ABG, you've done it. Thank you. Wayshak. Yeah, okay, that's a different one. But anyway, Chris, always fun. And so we'll have one more week of this before you get away. But sorry for the chat. But any parting words for us tonight?
Keep it real.
Keep it
Just
real.
Keep it real, everybody. Yeah.
All right, Chris. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
You too.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Well, hey, it's not midnight. I thought we were going to get it done in 2.5 hours. It went a little longer than that, but we took a little extra time talking about the artwork because there's so much fun things to talk about when we're talking about art. Oh, Bill Stout. Yep. Mike ABG, you are on it. But listen, this was a fun show tonight, even though I really did not have a whole lot planned. Thank you to Marcus for giving me the photos and the video clips from the Daniel Warren Johnson trip, the signing. Please, I mean, when you're going out to events like that, even if they're just signings at a comic book shop, if there's creators there, especially artists, take some pics and shoot some video. And, I'm happy to share it here on the channel. It does make things a little bit more interesting, gives us a little extra content that I know everybody enjoys seeing. So, and especially anytime it's out, outside of a con. I love getting photos and video clips from cons too. Marcus has given me plenty of that too. But it's just neat seeing, the people we admire and other collectors out in the wild, right? So, if you get out to any signings, Free Comic Book Days, usually those are great opportunities because many comic shops host 3 or 4 artists. When Free Comic Book Days come around, shoot video and send it to me. And you just got to email me, and I will give you a Google Drive to upload your stuff to, and I will make it into something we can present here to everybody. So I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for tuning in and hanging with me this wonderful Thursday evening. Please tune in to the show on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern with Mr. Steve Rude. That will be interesting. I haven't talked to Steve in literally 18 years. He was probably one of the first artists I ever met and had we talked for like a half hour at San Diego. He won't remember it, I'm sure, but so it's going to be cool to talk with him. I know everybody's very familiar with his art, like his stuff. Unfortunately, he didn't. Out of all the sketches that he put together, he didn't. There's not a nexus in the bunch. Unfortunately, I should call him and tell him to do at least one. Give me one right in there. I'll see what I can work out. I didn't. When I saw his set, that was the only thing that I was like, oh, why not? You got to do one. It's like, I mean, that would be like Chaikin not drawing an American flag piece of some kind, right, or a black kiss. I mean, you got to have their special character that they've created themselves. So, all right, everybody, I will see many of you Saturday, and if not, we'll be back again next Monday. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll